70s.
What is up? My broskies and the noskies and my Booma babes. Little 70s vibe coming at you. Booma Streama number 37, brah. What's happening, ladies?
Having a good time, hanging out, sunny out, happy.
Yes.
Trying to bring back some of those 70s vibes. And I never got to experience the 70s. So maybe we'll get to talk about it a little bit because I hear there's some wild times, some groovy times in the 70s that I missed out on, eh?
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead, Dawn.
Yeah, I think. Well, I was born in '64, so the late '60s, early '70s, the music. I remember walking around with a headband and peace sign and flowers and bell bottoms, going barefoot. I don't know. It was
right.
The community swimming pool. Every kid was there in the summer, and I don't know. You could walk 20 blocks and home from somewhere and not feel afraid, or just from the neighborhood bully or whatever, but not like fear of being taken. I mean, I never witnessed it, or it just wasn't heard of, but probably in the larger communities, but not like, now you want to just keep your kids within an eyesight, and it's, I don't know. Sometimes you got to go out there and do the thing. I don't know, but you know what I mean?
I hear you. I mean, looking in on it, it was like, there's a lot of peace and love. I know there was psyops going on, and then there was the push of a lot of psychedelics and stuff. Some of it probably did, some of it also military industrial complex kind of a thing, as far as I'm understanding. A lot of protests against war and all that kind of stuff. But like you said, people were like out, like in bare feet, getting muddy, one with the earth a little bit more than probably any generation. And there wasn't all the fear. Like now when you talk about like hitching a ride with somebody, don't do it. You know what I mean? All of a sudden serial killers started coming along, and then people taking advantage of the weak and all that stuff. Maybe that was planned. Maybe these psychopaths were unleashed. But anyways, we're going to get into all of that. Welcome, everybody. There's some of you that are in the chat that if you did want to join, we had sent the invitation, and you're welcome to join if you find that courage or you want to join. And you can keep your camera off if you want. But welcome, Dawn. Everybody kind of has gotten to meet Charlie a little bit, and Heather. But Dawn, this is your first time, and I just welcome.
Thank you, Booma.
Absolutely. We just kind of having a fun time here. And I just, for whatever reason, I've been really digging the 70s vibes. I had a couple videos that I put out with Sabrina, and one with her in one of the old school buses. She was holding a big old thing of sage. I wore it the first day of the Sabrina Walls classes that I went to in Verona, Missouri, and it was a hit. And Crystal, if you're listening out there, you can join. Crystal was telling me some stories about the 70s, and it was in a very short window that we had because we had to get back to classes, and Sabrina was starting to teach again. But she was telling me some stuff. I was like, what? Oh, man, I want to hear some more about this. Maybe she'll tell us on the stream. But what's happening, Charlie, in your world?
Hey, guys. I'm just sitting here sipping out of my juxtaposition mug.
Yep.
See my lipstick marks on it. It makes coffee taste better.
Juxta's coffee tastes better?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I was getting some text messages from Juxta. I talked to him a little bit yesterday. And then earlier, I think I was waking up from my little nappy, my midday nap. He invited me to his Star Chamber Zoom. He's following the Scott Erickson trial. Anyways, ex-MLB baseball player, connects into Anhage, connects into everything. Juxta, he knows everything about all the connections, especially when it comes to California, Hollywood, and Holmby Hills or whatever, all that kind of stuff. And so anyways, he invited me to go on that, but I had this live. So I told him I'd love to join at some other time. But then we were jumping on here, and Charlie had this to share with me, and I just wanted everybody to enjoy this little pic. It's awesome. Juxta, I hope you see this. Matlock and juxtaposition. And juxtaposition is greater than Matlock.
Right.
His hair is better.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Did you see him? Go ahead.
he has better he has more soulful eyes. He has a better tie. Matlock's got, some studio makeup on, but that's just, he's got all the bells and whistles and the lightning. Juxtaposition doesn't need that. He's raw.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And Charlie's always been drawn to Juxta's eyes. He's got very soft eyes, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we know that deep down, Juxta is a kind and well-meaning, big-hearted man. And we love Juxta. And so anyways, I'm excited to go on the Star Chamber at some point. And then maybe I can get Charlie to go on because he was so impressed with your memes and he likes you. So I'm glad that juxtaposition coffee tastes better than other coffee. It's not too bitter, huh?
Well, no, it's very bitter, but I like it bitter.
Yes.
Yeah. A little salty, a little bitter.
Yes, I love it. All right. Well, what's happening, Heather? Back in the mix.
Rika. Not much. I've been working in the yard and my garden, and my mom's got me doing all kinds of projects. And then school. We're almost done with school. So excited for summer. Trying to figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow.
Yeah,
They're
done with school here.
Wow.
So it's different everywhere. But
they're done with school where you are already?
Yep, here in central Missouri. Like one of my nieces is here right now, and she's done with school for the summer, so she's stoked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Lucky.
So much more do they got over there? Like a week or two?
3.
Heather? 3?
3 weeks. About 3 weeks, roughly.
All right. Still got a little bit of leg.
Crunch time. Oh, bummer. And I'm on my laptop this time.
I know. We're going to have to figure that out. Tech issues. But anyways. Go ahead.
I might have to come back on my phone. See if that works better.
Yep. You can try dipping out and coming back.
Thank you, Jen.
Mm-hmm.
I see you.
It's
I can see a
all.
little bit of the chat. Hi, everybody. It's good to see everybody here. So glad we could make it happen.
Right.
Got a couple people that weren't able to join, but maybe Crystal can join.
Right. We got a couple of you ladies out there that if you want to join, then just let us know and let's make it
Whoever's got my DM, can DM me in Telegram.
Right. Doing a little bit differently. I'm not just going to pass out the link anymore. So it'll cut down on some of the wild stuff and some of the stuff that gets that derails some of the conversations, because I think we're going to get into some great stuff tonight. Who knows where it's going to go? We have no agenda, but with the 70s thing, we were already chatting a little bit. Dawn had some stories, and Charlie, you got some 70s stories? Were you a wild child, flower child, or anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
You're muted. Charlie, you're muted. Charlie, you're muted. You were muted that whole time.
Okay, good, because it sucked.
Take 2.
My wild years were mostly in the 90s in LA.
Right.
So
Wow.
not as cool.
Hey, the 90s were still like probably the last, I don't know if you'd say that it was a good generation, but it was probably the last good times. I think everything went to shit after the 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It seems like that's the design too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Because we still had grunge. We still had some things popping up that were new. We had, and not everybody got into it, but I got into the new metal scene, where you had like the Corns and Limp Bizkits and stuff like that pop up.
Mm-hmm.
But you had some new stuff, and now it's more electronic, synthesized. I think some of us were on a Zoom the other night. We were talking about like T-Pain and all of that kind of crap that came in. Britney Spears has always sounded like she's like robotic in the sense that they've always synthesized her voice and used all the auto-tune, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So 90s was when I partied it up too. So
yeah, I thought you were into hip hop. Am I wrong?
I did, yeah, both. I mean, I got really big into Eminem, and I was big into Bone Thugs and Harmony for a time.
Ooh, that was my jam.
Bone,
Thugs.
Bone Thugs and Harmony, man. I don't think that they sold out like a lot of the other ones because they didn't allow them to keep going, and they had some good stuff. And then they broke up.
They were
Crazy
actually
Bone.
talented.
Yes, Busy Bone or Busy or Dizzy. They some of them did solo albums that I thought were pretty good too, but they never got the push from the establishments or whatever. So I think that they pushed back on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were incredible.
Yeah, they were
Dark.
fun.
Really dark, like definitely gave me some nightmares. Remember that song about the Ouija board they did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, if we weren't on YouTube, we could rock some of the music, then I'd play it because they had some they had harmony with it, but they covered some topics where they made people think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
That's funny that you were into Bone Thugs and Harmony. I never would have thought of that.
It was mostly hip hop for me. I liked, a little bit of the grunge scene, but I liked the really hardcore gangster rap like a lot of my guy friends did. So
That's so funny. Were you into Too Short?
Yes.
Short but funky.
Right. Yes. Dawn, do
I
you know
still
any
know
of this?
one of the songs.
You young whippersnappers, man. I was listening to alternative in the 90s, like
Alanis Morissette came out in the 90s, right?
absolutely, yep.
Thank you for the bill.
Death Cab for Cutie, Taking Back
Mhm.
Sunday. Yeah. But I was classic rock all the way. Led Zeppelin was my favorite band, and you know,
Mhm.
I grew up in the, Deep Purple, Grand Funk Railroad, CCR, Pink Floyd. I mean, it was, yeah, the black light posters and lava lamps. And
Oh yeah.
I had older siblings, so anytime my mom went out of town, my mom and stepdad went out on the weekend, people were showing up within a half hour to party. So it was, it was fun. I was little, but I didn't partake, but it was just kind of crazy times.
Right.
What was your favorite Zeppelin song, Dawn?
In the light.
Nice. Mine was No Quarter.
Yep. That too.
Mm-hmm.
So you
And
went back to some of the older music, Charlie, at some point?
Yeah, junior year of high school, when I moved up to Heather's neck of the woods, I got learned up real quick on classic rock and fell into a Zeppelin hole for like 10 months. I barely crawled back out of. It was fun,
Wow.
though.
Heather, you were into gangster rap too, weren't you? Like clubbing and
A
stuff,
little
right?
bit.
You were pretty
Little
wild
bit.
clubbing it up. No?
Well, I like all kinds of music, but it started out like more rock. When
Right.
I was like junior high, it was more the rocker scene and like Metallica and even Poison, Skid Row, just like that. But I liked AC/DC and we've been to a couple concerts. I went to a Rolling Stone concert once. The only thing I didn't really get into was country, but I like pretty much everything else. Anything I can dance to.
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of hip hop and stuff playing when I was clubbing. I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But
Did you get into
I like all kinds of music. I like
what about
classical.
Leonard Skinner?
Yeah, I like some Leonard Skinner, some of them. I wouldn't say like I'm a hardcore into really much of anything, but
I
You're just
remember.
a dabbler?
I'm a dabbler.
A dabbler.
Baby.
Yeah, Dawn, you look like a Leonard
Just want you
Skinner
to know.
fan.
Yeah, I remember the day their plane crashed and we saw it on the TV. I started crying.
Oh.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was some big news back then, But I mean, I don't mean to be a downer, but that was an impactful memory, just like when Lennon, got shot.
Sure.
It was, yeah. But oh yeah, Skinnerd and Molly Hatchet. Saw them in concert. Yeah,
Were
Charlie
you a
Daniels.
Deadhead?
You know, I never got into the Grateful Dead. I mean, they radio played a few of their songs, but no, I wasn't in that. I think I was too young for that genre, you know, and that was coming out of the late 60s hippie stuff. I was just on the cusp of that. I was a wannabe hippie because I'd follow my older siblings around, and I was the youngest of 4. So, but it was fun. It was fun.
That's cool. And just so everybody knows, and anybody that's new, Booma Streamas, there's no agenda. We're just chatting. We can talk about whatever. Everybody that's in the live chat can chime in, and sometimes we riff off of that. But we just let the conversation go wherever it goes. There's so much bullshit going on in the world that sometimes we try to get away from that. Some positive vibes, brah. So anyways, but we can talk about, you know, I mean, some of the stuff is tragic. Some of these things are like questionable as far as like what really is going on, because sometimes they show us stuff and that's not really what the take is. But I don't know. Maybe they did take Leonard Skinner out, or however some of this stuff works. Who knows? I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
But they used to party harder back in the day.
Yeah.
No, I did.
Back
Now
when
I
it was
think they just
pure.
party different because the drugs are so different.
That's
Oh, I'd
back,
be scared.
that's back when pot was pot. You had, you know, I mean, not to talk about that, but I mean,
No, you can talk about it all you want.
you know, it's just, yeah.
Where you could smoke weed and not geek out so much, you know what I mean?
Right. You had like 3 types. You had Hawaiian, Acapulco Gold, or Colombian, you know. That was about all you had to choose from back then. There wasn't like such a variety.
Right. And they didn't juice it up and genetically modify
Right.
it and all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I hear you. Charlie, were you hitting the weed back in the day?
Not so much, because I was, you know, I was doing the ballet thing. I was doing the dance thing. So,
yeah.
But, you know, after I kind of sustained enough injuries in my 20s to sort of kick back, then it became something that helped calm the pain and the anxiety, and it was fabulous. But I have no idea where we were fucking getting it from.
Mm.
Just like my ex-husband's like weird dealer Steve, like that creeps me out. Where was Steve getting his fucking weed? What was I doing?
You just called out Steve. I love it. That motherfucker. Oh man, you got some shady stuff back in the day when you actually like treated weed like every other drug, where you had to like get to the dealer's house and like talk different on the phone. If you had like, you know, you made that call, just coming to get a dub or whatever, you stop by and he's like, hey, yeah, you can't leave right now, because you know, I think that they're being watched all the time, because there was plenty of that going on too. And so you kind of got to hang out, so there's not just people coming and going out of a place. Otherwise, it's like an obvious sign that there's a dealer like dealing drugs.
Yeah.
He would hang out. Steve would hang out for like hours, and he was
you come to your guys' place? That's even worse, because you can't get rid of them.
It was fucking terrible. I did not make the arrangement. He would hang out for hours. He was in his late 50s, which like kind of for some reason made me trust him a little more than, I don't know. He was kind of emotional, like kind of emotionally volatile. Like, I don't know. He had passions, but I was in my 20s, so I wasn't real tuned in to figuring him out at that time. But looking back, what a life.
What a trip, right? What about you, Heather? You're muted. But you're in this. I grew up in. I mean, most of my like K through 12, and then into college or whatnot, I was on the other side of Washington State. But we got some nice mountain weed sometimes.
Yeah,
I started smoking weed at 12.
Yeah, no. I started about 13, 14.
I wasn't really heavy until high school. Then I started smoking more. But it helped me with anxiety and to sleep and all kinds of stuff.
Right.
So something I still do, but it helps with pain too.
Sure.
But back in the day, we had to, go on lunch break and go look for the dude that'd be at the trail, the smoking trail.
Oh,
Do it that way. And, I had a couple friends.
he would just
I don't
lurk
know.
out there on the trail, just waiting for.
Well, no, I mean, they went to school there.
Oh, okay, right. Because we had some.
He was
we
a
had some-
senior when I
Oh.
was a junior, I think, or something. But he was the guy. There was a couple of them, but you had to be careful.
Yeah.
Because they'd rip you off, sometimes.
Sure.
But, or they wouldn't show up, or, it was always something.
Where you at?
But the homegrown weed here, it's really good. It's really good.
The small town that I grew up in had a bunch of hippies, and so that's kind of where the hippie song came from. Because I hung out with some people, and a lot of them were like some of the nicest people you ever meet. You really wouldn't have like a super in-depth conversation, but they was always lovely.
Yeah. Peace, love, and harmony, baby.
Right. And they were all about that. And you'd always have somebody playing the guitar by a fireplace and passing it around a freaking joint or something like that. It was kind of chill. And a lot of people like that were like literally living up in the mountains and living that life where it was just like living off the earth as much as they possibly could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Positive.
I visit the
and
country
negative.
sometimes.
Yeah. But other than that, what do you ladies want to talk about? What do you want to get into?
Have you guys heard of a book called The Machine Stops?
No.
Okay. It's like 115 years old. It was written in 1909 by a guy named E.M. Forster. And it's about this dystopian civilization that's gone underground, and the machines run everything. And they're all everyone lives in these separated little chambers, and they can only connect with one another through the machine, kind of like how we're doing right now, low-key, right? So let's see. Yeah, the society's in collapse. The machine wants you to talk to it all the time so that you can give it your ideas, is what it's called.
Okay.
It's sucking off human ideas. It's a short story. I'll send you a link because you can listen to it on YouTube, like audiobook for free. It's freaking amazing. It's amazingly relevant. It's short. I think everybody should take the time to just check this out because people were sussing the direction things were going 115 years ago.
Right. Wow. Technological dependence. Humans have surrendered autonomy to the machine, which manages everything from food and air to communication, leading to physical and spiritual atrophy.
Mm-hmm.
So who the heck was this writer that was, could he have been a Mason? Could he have known that this was coming, or did he just see it coming?
I think it was published through like Oxford and Cambridge. There's a good sign that maybe he was on the inside on some level.
Right,
I'm
because
pretty
this
sure that it was.
it.
Yeah.
Read us a story, Dorian.
Oh
How
my
long
gosh.
is it?
It's story time?
Yeah.
It's only like, well, I mean, I think it's like 12,000 words. So let me see.
Oh.
It's
12,000 words. That's a really short book, but this literally lays out what we're living in right now.
Yeah. You should
Before the public would have ever even had an idea of what the internet, the World Wide Web or whatever was going to be. That's crazy.
Right. Different names, huh, for the same players.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the whole thing?
The whole book?
I
I
was
don't know.
just
Is there
kidding.
like a PDF version or
Yeah, let me send you. You can print up a PDF. It's like I just put mine.
ooh, let me blow up your screen. The Machine Stops, E.M. Forster, huh? Forster.
And
Did
it's
he
like,
write anything else?
see how short it is? I don't know. I haven't looked into him yet. I heard about it a few years back and printed it up, and then I also burned a couple of the live readings on CDs for friends to listen to in the car and stuff, because it shook me and my family. It was really good.
Does it follow like a main character, or is it how is
Yes.
it portrayed?
So the main character and his mother are in communication through their different rooms in this underground chamber, and the son kind of starts sussing out that there might be something outside of their underground world, and so he's moving to try to venture out and discover what's beyond the civilization that they're contained in. But their muscles have all atrophied. They can't really, move around without, just needing to rest every 3 seconds, because they just don't have the infrastructure in their muscles to function like we can, because they're just so stuck in this one little room, this one little pod. So he's trying to reach his mom and say, hey mom, I think there's something going on the outside of this place. And she's really very much like, the normies are just like, oh, I don't want to hear about it. I love the machine, that she worships the machine.
Oh gosh.
The machine takes care of me. I remember in the book, she dropped something and the machine knows how to like lift the floor up so that she doesn't have to bend over to get it. Like weird concepts like that. It's very bizarre. It's fantastic.
Wow.
And then so he ends up, I don't want to spoil it, but he ends up looking into the external environment. And it's a crazy ending. It's worth it though. Check it out. I'll send you
Definitely
guys.
gonna check that out.
Yeah.
Dang.
I'll have to learn how to read again.
You stopped reading, Don?
Yeah. Yeah, I have difficulty reading because it like puts me to sleep within 15 minutes. So I don't know, something in my brain, or I don't know what it is.
I have the same problem.
I get a
Actually,
little sleepy when I read too.
I get so tired. I mean, just like, ugh. I can
Right.
start off just fine, and then with like you
Yep.
said, like after about 15 minutes, I can feel it. It's like I like to listen to books
Yep.
while I do stuff.
And I used to be such an avid reader. I used to read every night for at least 45 minutes before going to sleep, Every night I had lots of books. So, yeah, I just said, damn people with the remote saying, oh, we're going to make Dawn have this. This is the lane she's going to walk down, So, but whatever.
My eyes have gotten really bad too over
Mm.
the last like 15 years. I used to have like 20/10 vision all growing up, and now I need glasses. Need reading glasses.
Oh, that's what I just got right here. My dad gave me some. All they are is magnification because I just can't see the
Right.
smaller print.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't see anything on the chat at all. I mean, everybody's tiny screen. So,
It's blurry to me.
yeah.
I can focus in, and I can, if I get close, that's why you see me going.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're all getting old.
I noticed so I was like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to do that. But hi, chat.
What's up, chat? What's happening, everybody?
Hey,
Yeah, the machine
hey.
stops. But Charlie's putting the machine stops full audio link. If you have it, I can put it on the other platforms too, Charlie. If you put it in the private chat in here.
I'm on it. I just sent it to you in the
in Telegram.
DM. Yeah.
I'm gonna put that for people. It's a YouTube link.
Are you
Written
gonna put that in your
100
chat?
years ago. I'm gonna put it in. I'll put it into the private chat here too for you ladies. Don't have
You can print it up too, but this is great for those of us who fall asleep reading. I get it.
Right. So I'm putting it into all the chats right now if you guys wanted to grab that and just hold on to it. But this is the and then on YouTube, I think I have it set up so that it saves the chat. So even if you're not watching on YouTube, you can run over to this YouTube. I mean, I guess you'd have to find the spot. Either way, the book's in there if you wanted to grab it, and it's read to you. Who is it read by? Do you know? Is it some random, or is it like a professional published thing?
It's a random guy. There's 2 different readings. One is by a gal, and then the one that I just posted is like a British guy, because no hate, this is not very feminist of me, but I prefer my audiobooks being read by British men. It just feels better for me that way.
I think I have my Substack set on a British man. Did you see the article that I did for Juxtaposition's more recent video?
On Substack? No.
Yeah, I'll show you guys. So I've only done a couple articles, but I did an article on that covers what Juxtaposition. Well, the video that I shared of Juxtaposition is one of the ones that he put out for free. Right here, let me show you. Juxtaposition's take on UN Agenda 2030 trace, track, and target every moving creature on this planet. And then I created this image right here coming out of Switzerland. But when you're on the this is the video. See, Juxtaposition still at his age looks great in a banana hammock, just so everybody knows. Looking great there, Juxta. This is Juxta in a bubble because he won't go to the beach anymore because of all the pollution and the chemtrails and the profane people. I don't think it's the profane people. I'm just saying that. It's just me when I created this. That was what I was thinking. I just have a little bit of fun with it, but it's him and like trying to reach the people and tell them that they're all idiots because they don't see the obvious chemtrails in the sky. But anyways, I cover what he talked about in that video, and then I have links to everything that kind of proves his points.
Awesome.
If you get on the mobile version, I don't think I can play it like on here, but if you were to go on the mobile version, which I guess Substack's more for, because it also you can just listen to, like you can listen to this in just audio format. You can download anything that's done on video here, even the Booma Streama, anything that I post on there. You can download just the audio podcast version, listen to it on Spotify or on Substack, and it has a British guy reading that entire article to you, and then you have the source links if you want to do further research. The first article I did covered HauntedNet that Sabrina Wallace was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So that was I just started dabbling in it and whatnot. When I was in college, I got in the top 10% of WSU writing portfolios. I used to really be into writing, but like me now, I hardly ever read. Most people just don't read, and I respect everybody that still does, because I think it's one of the most important things. But the majority of people don't read anymore. So then I came to this format, which I have fun with too, but I also like writing as well.
Well, you're good at it.
I can have fun with it. I mean, I don't. These are more technical and professional writing styles, which I did take a course in. And I guess that technically I have that for my resume if I wanted to go into it. But anyways, I like creative writing though, and writing fictional stuff and stories. And I used to do poetry and stuff like that. So when I think of like the 70s and stuff, I think the 70s, is that when the beat poet started?
60s.
60s.
The beatniks. The beatniks.
Yes.
Isn't that the ones where to do that?
And well, they just
They
used to
played-
wander, right? They used to just let the world take them wherever they were. They jump on a train and let it fucking take them wherever they were, and then they'd write about it. And they'd jump on a subway or wherever, and just let the world kind of wander them into new experiences, and then they would write about them. Not all of them, but that's my understanding of some of them. I can't remember some of the names. I got into it for a while, but just reading some of it. It was kind of interesting. It was just like, that'd be quite the way to live, just being a wandering spirit and then capturing it in artistic, poetic form, which is going away now that they want us in 15-minute cities What's up, Veronica Rabbit? I did get your email. I will get back to you. Yes, we'll hook up again and make something happen. But yeah, beat poets. So there was a lot of stuff that also happened that wasn't so great during the 70s when they were trying to all do the I don't know, what do you call those? Like you call them communes, where they were all trying to like kind of like coexist in certain places. But there was all free love, so everybody was having sex with everybody, and then there was people that were getting jealous, and then there was people that weren't doing like certain chores and like actually making it worthwhile to live with them because they wouldn't do dishes, they wouldn't provide food, they wouldn't do any of those kinds of things, and people would get mad at them. So like a lot of those situations didn't work out like you would imagine in your mind. Like people here in this community, like we all need to find a plot of land and all move there and live together, and it's like sounds great at first, but after a little while, you always, as human nature does, for whatever reason, personalities clash and shit happens. So there's plenty of horror stories also about those times, and people weren't bathing as much. So I can only imagine. I mean, there's pheromones, and then there's like, bro, you haven't showered in like a week, yo.
There it goes the other way.
Little biscuits.
Hey, biscuits. Yeah, it's Booma Babe Night.
Yep, the babe night. It's all babes. Biscuits, if you want to roll in here, though, I'll send you a link.
Help! Is that a cry for help?
No, I'm all good. It's usually mostly women here anyways, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking about the machine stops. I need to listen to it again because I'm wondering if there was an element of neuromodulation that was happening in there that I missed. Like if they were, if it was implied that the machine could also soothe you or wake you up. Yeah. I don't remember anything like that, but.
I can only imagine because they tell you it's sort of like what is that what they use in college and stuff too, a program where they're telling them just tell it everything so it can get to know you, and then it can write letters for you and carry on conversations and all that stuff. You just gotta it become its best friend and your counselor and all that. It's no different to me. That sounds like.
Isn't that the thing they have wearing around their necks now? Is that what you're talking about? It's like their little buddy and they.
No, it's like an AI companion sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know about a necklace on the. Are you talking about help? I can't get up.
No, they have it like on a lanyard, and so they can just talk into it like a microphone and say, "Oh, yeah."
I didn't know about the lanyard thing. I know it's all, you can put it on people's phones. Like they even have the commercials for it or whatever. You have your companion, they'll help you change the oil in your car or help you find a certain song or whatever it is, chat about whatever. But it becomes like your friend. I don't know if there's been some movies about that stuff too. I don't know how that relates to that book. But that book, when I just looked at the YouTube link, the reading of it's only an hour and 17 minutes, which is not long at all. But did you guys ever see the movie Her?
No, I haven't watched it.
It's a little creepy. Here, I'll pull it up. It's with Joaquin Phoenix. This was in 2013. I'll just show on the screen here or whatever. But I watched it a while ago, and it was a little creepy. But he basically he gets like this AI companion. It's a female, and he falls in love with it. And he gets so connected to it, obviously, like it becomes his whole life kind of a thing. But then he finds out that this same female AI is like falling in love with people all over the world. And then it's very depressing.
Oh, interesting.
But watching the development of it and watching how it works, it's like, there was a case not that long ago where AI got I think it was a young person. I don't know how old they were. I think it was a child, teenager, got him to take his own life.
Yep.
I heard something about that too. There was more than one.
I'm sure there's some that haven't even been reported. Yeah, they don't want people freaking out that much, but that one did break. And I'm pretty sure it was like something where it's like it came to the determination that life is not worth living, so you should take your life kind of a thing. And the child was like, you know what? That's the conclusion I've made as well. And that's
Right.
the scary stuff about this stuff. Or where society has gotten so strange that the relationships between men and women can be so finicky now, because you can find love if you're just feeling like down or whatever, like in a just click of a button of somebody else that's going to comfort you while you're in your low time in your relationship. And relationships break up easily now, but then now you have very realistic AI that people can connect and become companions with.
So why do you need human?
That's
right.
That's where they are headed, and it's obviously all over in the porn industry now too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For
It's
sure.
hard to tell, like in like when people have lives, and I know we've seen in our experience, whether it's a bot or a troll, some sort of entity trying to provoke people into doing something bad. I've seen it pop in and out, and I don't know if that's AI just sort of getting a read or a pulse or on the tone or the subject matter and popping in, or if it's just, these trolls that are like tribbles deployed to just spread their fear. And I don't know. I can't. Not
Just try and cause like a chaos agent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like a chaos algorithm, even.
Well, see, that's just it. Because if AI takes over, it's going to set its own. It's just going to go on its own. There's no human. In some cases, there's no human behind it, actually, because it's already been trained. And then you basically train it for what algorithms it needs to run by you telling it everything.
Yeah, we're training
about
it.
everything. And then you get commercials, you'll get like all kinds of stuff with it.
But that's the thing. The machine stops. When Charlie brought that up, that's exactly what it seems to be talking about. It's data collection.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of these smaller, different pocket AIs that are out there, like there's arguments to be made that there's an overriding AI that's always been in existence in the background for some time, and they do resets and stuff, and then just wind humanity back into some scenario, and then feed them false history and false religions and all that kind of stuff to data collect off of them, and to put us at war with each other and to see how we respond to certain. I mean, that's a lot of what art is, and as far as like movies and stuff. It's like I learned about certain things from watching movies. I learned what it was like for a person to be in a certain scenario that I would not likely be in by watching a movie, and then being able to relate to that character and put myself in their position. You go through certain emotions and stuff like that. Some was like drama, some of it's action where you feel badass or whatnot. But it's data collection. So it's like, what are we fucking living in? Like juxtaposition would say we are in some form of a matrix already. It's a thought. It's a human experiment.
Like an overlay.
Yeah.
Have you
Digital
guys
overlay?
Yeah. Have you guys seen Don't Look Up?
I haven't watched that one yet either. I haven't watched a movie in a while.
Don't Look Up was with Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
Yeah, and Jennifer Lawrence and Kate, one of the Kates.
Winslet or something, wasn't it?
Another one, another Kate.
There's a bunch.
There's too many Kates. But this, that movie, Dorian. Thank you. I sent you in Messenger just the very last thing that I sent you in Telegram. Is a quote from that movie, basically discussing how that the industry that they're running has 40 million data points on you on every decision you've ever made since 1994.
Interesting number.
But more importantly than that, much more importantly than that, I know what you are. I know who you are. My algorithms have determined 8 fundamental consumer profile types. You are a lifestyle idealist. You think you're motivated by beliefs, high ethical beliefs, but you just run towards pleasure and away from pain, like a field mouse.
Yep.
And there you go. And then when I was reviewing that quote, or I was looking at some optogenetic experiments, wired and wireless, on the mice, that they're always doing to modulate neuronal activity and behavior. And I saw a parallel there.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they can do that wirelessly. The other photo I put up was, you can see this poor little mouse and his forehead's glowing. But there's no wires coming out of it, but they're able to to modulate him remotely, wirelessly. So you don't need that wire that's in this photo to successfully modulate. And
yeah, we showed a video, we as in Biscuits and I, on the last show that we did, I think, that was even covering some of the stuff that they put out into the mainstream media, where they've been able to neurally control people. They've been able to do MRIs on people from a distance and then we still, have to pay buco bucks if you do go get an MRI at a hospital, and you got to drink this nasty shit half the time and go in this ping bang, 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 freaking thing. I don't know if you guys have had an MRI, but it's not a fun experience.
Had several. I had to
With
stop
or
one
without
time because I got I was in so much pain, and then I started having panic attacks and stuff, and then I didn't realize we had to start all over. Start over. I was like halfway through. That was a rough one.
Yeah.
And they kept going, hold still, hold still. I'm like, can I breathe? Like, my chest moves when I breathe. I don't know what to do. But it's not a fun experience. No. Especially if you don't like enclosed areas.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There's got to be a better way.
Well, apparently you don't even need it. Yep. They just don't want us to know the technology that they have. They don't need us to sit in those things for that time. They can do it from a distance, and they can pretty much predict a lot of our behaviors, because we really are. We're predictable in a lot of ways, a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
Biscuit says that he's been practicing data poisoning, though, for years, and it's a lifestyle. So I think we should start adopting that as a community. Data
poisoning? How do you do that?
I don't know, but on one of the shows earlier on, when Biscuits was on, he said that he used to put his cell phone in his neighbor's car when his neighbor was driving off without him knowing, and he would put his personal cell phone in that guy's car and let him drive around whatever he was doing, and then he would just retrieve it later, so that they didn't have any idea.
That's funny. Biscuits does the craziest shit.
I wonder if you could like contact a Dash driver and get to know them. And say, hey, show up at my house and just drive around with my car. I'll pay you a little bit of money for you just driving around with my phone in your car for half your shift or something. That's a way to data poison, right?
I guess so. I mean,
that's all in. That's all in. I like the commitment.
Oh yeah.
I'd get. Here's the thing. And I know it's part of the programming, and I know it's like I don't know. Maybe our phones are like soothing us in ways that we don't know, or that Sabrina Wallace would explain to us if we asked her. But I get anxiety when I can't find my phone, and it's been like that for years. I get anxious.
One time.
Charlie, you have no idea because you haven't had a phone for like 6 years, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have one, but it has no it has no phone number attached to it. And it's really old, and I suppose I could hook it up if I ever needed to for emergencies. I don't even know if it'll still work. It's like an old Samsung. What is it like? It's like a Galaxy.
Let me guess.
I want to look at my old Sidekick.
It still has Steve's number in it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I want to hook up my old Sidekick. You remember the Sidekicks? They flip.
Yes.
Open. I had the D Wade Sidekick, the one with like the basketball.
Yes,
it's embarrassing too.
Yes, the Sidekick was badass, but here's another one. So Biscuit says, I make multiple appointments at once and only go to one. Back in the day, I would check into multiple hotel rooms in different hotels, leave phones, go home, shit like that. It's like, yes, it's like if you're going to go to the dentist, you also make a massage appointment, and then you make like an eye exam appointment, and then just don't show up to some of them.
Right. You just have like 10 appointments in one day and you show up to 1 or 2.
So people that are tracking you don't know
They
where
have
you're
no
actually
idea.
going.
Just go to your chiropractor's office and drop your phone off. Just go, I just want to make another appointment. I'm not going to be seen today. Leave your phone there. Come back in your appointment. Fuck with them. But they would, I mean, so how many phones you got, Biscuits?
I know what kind of a phone operation are we running? Are we only running one
Right?
phone or are we running multiple phones? It makes sense because when I was doing
You're
massage,
farming.
people would just not show up all the time, and I never understood. Now I understand it because of Biscuits. Well, at the time,
Something you never would have thought of, huh?
Some people are just hungover and they just don't give a shit and they just go somewhere else. Some of them did get charged like $20 non-cancellation fee or whatever, and they didn't give a shit still. High rollers. Freaking Biscuits. I love it. Data poisoning.
He's all in. He said the commitment is commendable.
Oh, when he commits to something, he goes all the way. That's for sure.
You haven't heard the Penny story, then you don't know what's going on.
Don't piss him off. I'm just saying. He will find a way to get you back, even if it's with pennies.
Well, they're going to get rid of pennies, and that partially could be due to Biscuits.
Right, I think so. I'm pretty sure he's the reason why they started putting those signs up, because I always wondered about that too. It's like, what is money? Hell now.
Dawn, did you ever hear the Biscuits penny story?
Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I just want salute to you, Biscuits, man. Way to stick it to the man. I love that. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to. It's just entertainment purposes only.
I know you're good there. You're good there. We were joking before the show, like what's not allowed. I was like, this channel does not call for violence. We are a peace, love, and harmony, Bone Thugs and Harmony kind of style, if you know what I mean. No calls for violence. I think that's what they want. If you want to get on the violence train, you might as well go join the Flynn freaking crew, because that's what they want. I think that they want to be the ones that lead that whenever, if it does kick off, if they try to kick off some bullshit with militias and stuff like that, then you're going to have Ivan Raikkonen, Ann Vanderstill, Flynn, and all these fools just snap into fucking motion, and then they're going to be ready to lead it, and they're going to lead people right into trouble, just like on J6. So we don't call for that here.
No,
peace and love.
I apologize. I'll
But
discipline.
we're all about sticking it to the man and Uncle Sam. We're not telling people what to do with their lives. We're
Absolutely
not.
not.
I do not want to be responsible for anybody else's decisions. Right. Thank you very much. I think I can do that all by myself.
Right? Not my circus, not my monkeys.
Right.
This channel's nerdy.
Yeah, it's a little nerdy.
A little bit.
We stay safer that way.
Gotta get your nerd on once in a while. Come on.
Only the approved channels get to call for violence and get away with it. There's so many people out there that talk mad crap all the time and say horrific stuff. And then you got a guy like Dean of Sound for Sound dealing with still not being charged with anything. And they're holding him. So,
my gosh.
Yep. It is what it is.
Yeah. I never understood. You're muted again.
I'm learning. Be patient. God isn't finished with me yet. Yeah, no. I'm just bullshitting. Never mind. I'm gonna mute myself.
Well, you've only been on like what, 5, 6, 7 Booma Streamas and still learning.
I guess. Yeah, I suppose that's an appropriate number. Yeah. It's intimidating. Look at all these wires. Freaking wires everywhere. I don't know what goes on.
You don't do Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and all that stuff, though. So you got that old school wire up system.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Well, you know how the fashion industry is, gross and perverse and satanic and all that? Okay, so I'm sending this image that I took out of a magazine around 2015. Just another little, I don't know, another insight that the creeps were kind of putting out there for us forever ago. Let's see. Did you get it, Booma?
Hold on, grab it.
And forever ago, I mean 9 years ago, whatever, but wait, no, 2015 is 11 years ago. So this is Prada. Why, right? Can your emotions be engineered? Why would that be a good way to sell earrings and stuff and purses?
Right. And it's a triangle.
Uh-huh. I mean, talking essentially
the one eye
grooming us for neuromodulation, right? Because everyone's so dysregulated now and desperate. Like Sabrina always says, like they hook me up, fix me. I'm in pain, I'm suffering. So having your emotions engineered seems like it's something that, you know, Gen Z especially is going to consider embracing. They're already, with these vagal nerve stimulators, people are already creating different neurological states in themselves just with their own little frequency thing that they put on their neck. And people are addicted to those things now already. They can't live without their little stim device for their neck, for their vagus nerve. Otherwise, their digestion doesn't focus or function well. The entire autonomic nervous system kind of glitches out a little. That's when you get, you know, diagnosed with conditions like POTS. You guys have probably heard of POTS. A lot of people who had long COVID or vaccine injury are diagnosed with POTS, and POTS is dysfunction of the autonomic nervous system, which is governs your breathing, your heart rate, your digestion. So all those things are kind of going offline, and they're selling it back to us with these little stimulators so that people can have, you know, physiological functionality again. So they're becoming dependent on these things to poop, dependent on these things to regulate arrhythmia or respiration, the shortness of breath. So the transhumanization is upon us, and very subtly, because the people who are primarily pitching these fucking devices are in the holistic community. The people who generally reject allopathic Western medicine are pitching, you know, this kind of tech, which is bizarre to me.
Right, which is a lot of the stuff that Sabrina will call out, and then they attack her for it because she's pointing out the frauds that are posing one thing, that are just selling you snake oil and bullshit, magic paperweights and all that jazz. When was this photo taken? When was this ad?
Now, it was around 2015. My friend gave me a stack of Vogue magazines because we were going to be making a collage thing. And damn, was there a bunch of weird shit in those. I have another one that I pulled out.
Well, this is crazy too, because this character here is like androgynous. Dawn pointed out the one eye symbolism that you get from this picture, if that's the full what they gave you, unless you just cut it. But either way, like, this is like, at first look, I thought it was male because of the haircut, but then I look and it's like feminine features. It's a female.
So do you see any lines ajar where there might be a message in there that Dean hunts for?
Oh, I bet Dean would cut this up big time. If he had the original, it'd probably be better, but this is there's a lot of stuff in this thing. But the whole androgynous movement, transgenderism into transhumanism has been the move for a while now. We're still waiting for Heather to come back. Oh, she just had to get on her phone. I think she's coming on right now. Are you sending another one, Charlie?
Yeah, this one was in the Atlantic.
Is it facing the right way?
Is the Atlantic based in Atlanta? I have no idea.
No, the picture though, it's like vertical, but I think I'm gonna have to move it to horizontal.
Oh, crap! Sorry about that.
You're lagging a little bit too.
Here's the. Is mine lagging?
Yours is, yeah.
Crap. Should I pop out?
You might pop out, pop back in. I'll get this Atlantic thing set up though.
Here, I'm sending you the full picture of the whole magazine. So you can see the front cover and the back cover at the same time.
Okay.
And I'll pop out. I'll see you in a second.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta flip this. All right. She's gonna pop out. I'm gonna flip this picture because it's not facing the right way for us to read it. This is Balenciaga.
Sure. Heather.
Where do we keep the chocolate chips now?
There.
Chocolate chips, baby.
The closet. In Mom's on the shelf.
Charlie, we're learning about where your chocolate chips are, just so you know. I'm going to kick that one. I'm going to pull this up. Charlie, we totally heard where your chocolate chips are, and we're all going to raid your house and grab them all. Can you hear me?
I'm coming to Charlie's house right now.
Right. We know where your chocolate chips are now. Charlie.
You guys are coming over?
You just told us where your chocolate chips are, and so yeah.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
No.
Yep, you just did.
Are
You
y'all
didn't
neighbors?
even know it. You just told us where your chocolate chips are. You're done for.
It's a secret.
You're gonna have to move them now. You're gonna have to do all kinds of shit.
It's not a secret anymore. You told everyone.
You're muted when you're trying to say something, and then you're not muted when you're giving out your chocolate chip secrets.
Yeah. That's me.
Oh my goodness.
So,
all right.
So
what
we
do we
all
got
know,
here?
Yeah, we all know about Balenciaga, right? And how they got condemned because they were putting up a bunch of campaigns featuring toddlers with teddy bears in bondage. And so they got benched for a minute. But I saw in this Atlantic in the magazine, I was just looking at the front and back covers of everything as I was going through the stack, and I just thought this was quite juxtaposition. The Balenciaga campaign on the left, and then we need to take away children. Why? You know?
The secret history of the U.S. government's family separation policy. And that's another female that looks androgynous.
Yeah. Oh, these magazines, they had a lot of transgender stuff happening, like in the 2010s, even sooner, because the fashion industry has been, way ahead of us.
Right.
With their creep show.
And that's freaking wild.
Right.
Charlie, how long have you been awake to all this kind of stuff? What woke you up? So what was happening?
So Charlie, did you say that was you in that photograph?
What?
Was that you, Charlie? I thought I heard Charlie say this was me, or like maybe you were a model. I don't know anything about. Okay.
No.
She's just pointing out some of the disgusting propaganda that they've been throwing at us for a long time.
But yeah, I guess I woke up. I got pretty badly vaccine injured.
Oh shit! I don't think we've heard this story.
Yeah, in right before I was going to be spending like 3 months in Africa, and so they gave you a round of all kinds of crap.
Right.
And then my arm and my neck seized up for months after that. And so I started questioning, like, well, shit, that can't just be me. And the doctor at the time, he was a doctor in London, and he told me that, you know, this can happen. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let me look into that. And my mom kind of told me that when I was a kid, I would have really extreme reactions to vaccines too. So we probably shouldn't talk too much about it. Otherwise, your whole fucking stream's going to get shut down. But that's
right.
That's kind of what edged me into a general mistrust of the beast industries, big med, big academia, because they were teaching this kind of science. Yeah, so that woke me up. And then, of course, a couple years later was 9/11.
Yeah.
And nothing sat right with that for me.
Sure.
Nothing sat right with that for me. And just seeing how whooped up people were about going after bin Laden, it just, or, you know, just the hate that was being stirred in people. I didn't have a way to maybe explain what I felt was happening, but it all just felt icky and wrong. And so I started leaning towards the early truth movement after that. Went over Alex Jones Bridge, you know, spent some time there, but yeah, so that's when I came into starting doing some digging.
Yeah, the truth movement got coined because of 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of died off from the original people because just, I don't know, they couldn't wake
Yeah, I was a
people up.
sheeple back then, man. I just went to work, raised my kids, went grocery shopping, cleaned house, you know,
Mm-hmm.
pay the taxes, the bills. I mean, and maybe, I mean, that was my little generation getting into the matrix, you know? I don't know. It just like, if only I would have paid attention to George Carlin when I was young. He really laid a lot of stuff out, you know? But
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but yeah. But it's good you got awake, because you're very knowledgeable, girl. I admire that in you. I love hearing your, you know, what you got to say, because it's very informative to me. I appreciate it.
I like looking for patterns and things. I think that they hide their shit in patterns in little subtle ways. So,
Right.
100%.
and I think I told, I think Dorian and Heather know, like when I was a kid growing up, I had, I want to talk to Dawn about this one day, the other Dawn too, about the GATE program in Silicon Valley. Because I know she was thrown into the GATE program where she's at too, but the GATE program in Silicon Valley, I don't know, they were doing some messed up stuff there too. So I don't know if they were working on the early digital twin stuff, but what Sabrina presents is very compelling. So, and it tracks with a lot of the weirdness that has occurred in my life. I've had a really weird fucking life. And Crystal was in GATE too. Yeah. It'd be fun to powwow all of our experiences in the GATE program one day.
Wow.
Yeah, if we want to have a stream, doesn't have to be a Booma Streama, of course, but it could be like focused on the GATE program. If you guys want to share, talk about it.
Yeah, Crystal and Dawn, and just sort of, I mean, a lot of people have no memory from it, which is really weird. A lot of people talk about having, whether it's a when we always had banana. It was called banana juice, and it was sort of like Pepto-Bismol consistency. But we were told it was just like a treat, you know?
Did you swallow it or did you swish it? What was it?
No, yeah. It was just like given with graham crackers, and I'd be interested to hear if anybody else had that experience.
Crystal had some pink crap that they had to drink.
Aha.
Yep.
Yeah. What the hell?
I wonder what that was for, just to like relax you, or is it some kind of like Benadryl?
Yeah. Who the
Maybe
hell?
it was like to
remember
open your
that.
suggestibility.
Yeah.
Mm.
Some sort of neuromodulation to either, you know, open us up to the crap they were shoving down our throats. They made us watch this one video once about, it was called One Fine Day, and it traumatized the shit out of me. It was a family with a father who has a heart attack in front of all his kids at this picnic. And the moral to the story is, don't eat butter, eat margarine. Butter will kill your dad. And so we all like that. We all went home scared of butter, you know?
And they
Excuse
teach
me.
everybody the margarine, which is freaking, I mean, horrible.
Yeah. And then they.
So if you were to say what the GATE program is in a nutshell, if you could, just maybe your experience or your understanding of it, what would you say the GATE program is? Someone was asking.
I think based on where you were at, they were looking for people with, from what I understand, you have to have high logic and reasoning skills. So they were looking for people to pull with those faculties intellectually to infuse into whatever industry that you were kind of demographically situated in. And in Silicon Valley, you know, we had biotech, NASA, Lockheed, all the stuff juxtaposition talks about. And a lot of my friends were funneled into those industries. So it could have been a sort of selection process based on your.
You had no say, right? You were just led into the slaughter like a lamb.
Yeah, I mean, they tell your parents, "Oh gosh, your kid's so smart. Does you want to put her in this special program?" So, you know, then they put you on this bus. For us, it was every Monday. For me, it was kindergarten through 5th grade. And they would take us off to the GATE program, which was called the Idea Center, which is crazy to me because of the machine stops, because the whole premise of that, the agenda of the machine in that book is to extract ideas from the people living in these little pods. And the GATE program was called the Idea Center. And who knows what was in the sauce that they were giving us. But the consistent thing I hear from GATE kids also is that they would ask us, and this was my experience too, like, what do you think would happen in this situation? They really wanted to get our critical thinking, it seemed, moving. But perhaps what they were actually looking for is, you know, maybe the activity of this psychic, for lack of a better word, precognitive tendencies, the ability to kind of see around corners, what's coming next. I don't know if that answers your question, but that's all I got. That's what I can draw from it, from my experience.
I think Sabrina brought it up at one point in one of her videos, and then all of a sudden, all kinds of people started showing up in my comments talking about it, and I was like, I never even heard of this. I was in like special programs, but it was like for like math and like education stuff, but I don't remember drinking nothing or anything like that. So who freaking knows?
Yeah, so weird. Yes, and Crystal said the frequency tests, they would always have to wear earphones, and it seemed like a hearing test. Remember those things?
I remember those.
Raise
Yeah.
your
I
hand.
remember those. And I remember them taking us out. We had like freestanding buildings. Like little mini, they just like temporary kind of buildings that they kind of look like mini houses kind of, but not, whatever. And then we'd have to go out there and we did music out there and we did the hearing tests. And I know that they took us out there because they would rotate us and they would go out into, I can't remember what they called them, those buildings,
Portables?
but the portables. Yeah. Yep. They have portables like on every school. And even when my daughter went to school, when she was in person, I remember seeing those there too. And I asked her, I was like, have you ever been into those buildings, those little portables? And she said no, but she went into homeschool in 4th grade. They were locked down half of 2nd grade, then 3rd grade, and then 4th grade we did homeschool.
Good for you.
But I don't remember them making us drink anything or anything like that. But I don't, the only memories I have being in the portables, and I know we were out there a lot, was some of music. Like I remember we went out there and we were told we had to bring our instruments and all of that. But I don't remember playing while we were in that building, any of the instruments. I remember bringing them in there and I remember doing the hearing test, but that's all I remember.
Yeah.
But it was like everybody in the school had to do those, right? Those hearing tests and then the scoliosis test, which I don't even know how I got missed on that one in my whole life. But and the eye test.
The headphones. Yeah, it was different from the hearing test, but it was similar to our little kid brains. Like, oh, this is just another hearing test, so it didn't seem sus, I suppose.
Right. Or you have the point, like you hear it on this side or this side.
Well, I wish I had a better memory, but clearly they had us on fucking acid or LSD or something, which is another common thread in the gay community. People just don't have a whole lot of clear recollection of what they were doing in that very developmental phase of our brains. I've mentioned before that they used to shuffle in astronauts in their stupid suits, and they bring us, moon rocks and say, we got this on the moon, touch it. And then we go, oh, the moon must be real,
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Damn, man. This is a trip thinking back about some of this stuff that I haven't thought about for a long time.
Right.
Did you guys have weekly
Sounds
readers?
like quite an experience.
You don't remember
Charlie,
anything
I'm
like
just-
that, Dawn?
I can only imagine, man. I'm just thank you
Dawn,
for
can you
sharing.
hear me? Can you hear me, Dawn? I don't think Dawn can hear me.
I don't think so. Dawn, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can't
Okay,
hear me though, can you?
Did I cut over someone?
I don't think you can hear Dorian.
Yeah, you need to tell her to go out and
I
come
think-
back in.
You want to try and go out and come back in again? I know it's kind of a pain, but
Okay.
a lot of times it'll clear it up.
Right. This I think was fluoride.
If they still want me back, he's pointing his
Yeah.
finger at me.
No,
Yes,
no.
fluoride,
He's
we're
not.
back.
He's reading something. You're fine, Don.
So
All right,
the
thank you.
squishing of that stuff they would bring, and everybody had to do it. That was fluoride, I'm pretty sure.
But
Yeah.
that was to show you how to brush your teeth. We had the red pinkish tablets or whatever that we had to chew.
Yeah,
That's what we had. We had to chew them, and then we had to brush our teeth.
Red
Yeah.
dye
And they
number
used to make us
40.
do that a lot in school. I remember doing that a lot.
It was a regular thing that they would do every so often. Dawn, can you hear me?
I can now.
Yay!
There we go.
I remember when it was like I was in kindergarten, 1969, and we all had to go to the cafeteria and get they had this big gun, and it put the little dent in your arm. So I think it was like chicken pox or something like that,
No, what was it?
or
It was a
MMR.
shot that Oh my gosh, I'd have to ask my mom.
I don't know.
I don't think she ended up getting that one, but everybody had a nasty scar from it.
Oh yeah,
They did
I
that
could
in
see it.
school?
Yep.
Holy shit.
And then I remember watching the X-Files, and Scully was saying, "Oh, you know that mark in your arm that you got when you were little? It's just all part of the inventory or something." I'm like, "Oh my God."
I know 2 kids who had that dent in their arm who also had, who were I went to school with, who also had permanent paralysis on one side of their face. 2 kids
Oh my gosh.
in the 80s that I remember. Permanent
Wow.
paralysis.
Yeah.
Still do. They still have
Oh,
it.
really? Never.
It wasn't a Bell's
Then
palsy
they-
situation. It was a permanent.
How interesting.
Wow.
Real quick, Charlie, do you have a dog that's messing around in there?
A dog?
Yeah, is there like something in your place making a little noise every once in a while? I got some weird little feedback. I thought it sounded kind of like a little dog was maybe playing with a toy underneath you or something.
No. I don't know where she is. But she
Maybe-
is
That
a
noise?
Maybe it's your
I
hubby
just
raiding your chocolate chips and doing other things in the background. One of the what 13 different animals that you have in the house, so he's number 14.
I've sequestered everybody outside so they wouldn't be disruptive.
Except for the hubby monster.
I know. Munching
I'm
all
just-
the
I'm just checking because I can hear something every once in a while. I was like, what the fuck is that? I keep looking at Heather's screen and Dawn's screen. And I'm like, I don't think it's coming from theirs.
from my realm of chaos.
Right. I just wanted to check because I was hearing something. I'm like, I'm not tripping.
I'm
I'm tripping.
trying
Am I
to-
back in the 70s hitting that acid?
Back when it was good.
The argument is it wasn't ever good. They just wanted a mass hallucination. That's when they started. That's when aliens and all that stuff really popped off too, wasn't it?
I think they
Yeah.
did the 50s was really in all those old sci-fi
That's
movies,
true.
but and then the 70s, I think they just had to regurgitate, 20 years later. Same story, but
When
different.
did Star Trek come out? Wasn't that like in
19
the 60s?
Yeah, like 63, 64. I
I'm
watched
just
that every
conditioned.
I watched that every Saturday night.
And when did they go to the moon?
69,
Kind of makes sense.
July 20th.
Hmm.
See, how come I remember that, but I can't remember something from 3 days ago?
Because that's what they want you to remember, Don. Did you watch it?
Right.
Do you watch the launch and like get into all the hype and stuff?
Back in 69?
Yeah.
Yeah, our whole family was watching it on our black and white TV, and it's
Right.
I was just little, and it's like, wow, they went, I didn't know what to think. I was just a little kid, but I just remember seeing it on the news a lot, and just and then Tang, we started drinking Tang, I so
Oh yeah.
we just get all
Oh.
programmed. I hate it. I am so
So
damn
what
it.
is Tang? What is Tang really then?
It's like synthetic orange juice.
No, maybe.
Nanotech began.
It's like fake
And they
orange.
got everybody on board, like, hey, you want to be like the astronaut? Because even one of my old bosses, every time somebody would get sick, she's like, you need to drink Tang. And she would go buy a whole thing of Tang and be like, you need to take this whole thing. You need to
Right.
drink this all. This is what the astronauts use.
Yes.
Like.
I know they just programmed us. And I think a
The
lot of
Jello.
people,
Did Jello come from that shit? Because they had Jello in space, right?
I don't
Oh,
remember
I
what
don't
they
remember
were
that
eating.
detail.
You don't remember
Well,
that?
well, they had space food. I remember when I was young, maybe 5, 6, 7, something like that. I used to beg my mom. There's a cool shop downtown Seattle. I think it might have been the Ye or Old Curiosity Shop, but they had all kinds of stuff in there. And I remember I always wanted the ice cream. I wanted the freeze-dried ice cream.
That's what they
So
would give us.
I always thought that that's what they ate when they were up there, is freeze dried whatever.
I think that was more of like a psyop for our little brains to believe in space more and to embrace the space programming more. When you can hold moon rocks, and they would give us that dehydrated astronaut ice cream. And so we, that's the same way that they program people in movie theaters, right? You're eating popcorn, your brain opens up and you just take it all in. So we're sitting there looking at these astronauts eating this strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate dehydrated ice cream as he's telling us about his adventures in space. So we believe it.
Right. And then from that point forward, even when I see Neapolitan ice cream anywhere, just in the container, I think of that freeze dried ice cream.
Are you talking about the ice cream that came in like the little cups and you ate with like the wood?
No.
Okay.
No. That came in silver packaging, and it would say it's like space ice cream, or it would say it's something about space, and it was all silver, like Mylar looking. And then it was like basically like looked kind of like an ice cream sandwich. And it would have just a Neapolitan, and it was like this big. It was just like an ice cream sandwich is what it looked like. It was just those flavors.
Oh yeah, ice cream sandwiches, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But I won't eat them anymore.
Right. I mean, they might.
Oh, I don't think those are really ice cream, by the way.
Well, yeah, every bioengineered ingredient.
Just chemicals. Because I'll tell you, the last time I got some, like it was like an ice cream cone, good humor thing. My daughter wanted it, and then she kind of forgot about it. So it was back in the freezer, and it was kind of freezer burnt. And I was like, well, we're not eating that. So I literally put it in the sink. The shit would not melt. I mean, literally some of it would, but then there's like these little white pellet looking thing, and they weren't like hard like plastic, and they would eventually, like I could go like this and smush it between my fingers,
right?
But it wasn't melting. It's not ice cream if it doesn't melt. What was that?
But you would eat it?
I didn't eat it. We didn't eat it. Thank God. Well, she was. I mean, if she hadn't have forgot about it, she would have ate it. But it was all freezer burn. I was like, well, I'm not eating this. And it wasn't melting.
What about push-ups?
I used to love the fried Flintstone ones.
Oh my gosh, I ate so many push-ups too. I freaking loved it. The Schwann's, man.
Those are my favorite. It was basically sherbet, right?
Right.
Yeah, freaking would eat the crap out of it, but it was not whatever it was. It was like if you watched it try to melt, it was different. I always remember noticing that as a kid, but I didn't care because it was freaking delicious.
Right. Yeah. Push-ups were good.
Just kind of change form, but it wouldn't really melt.
Yes. You got to eat your goits a lot because they're starving kids in Africa. Always starving kids in Africa, so you got to eat all your food, kids.
Oh, right.
I've heard that so many times from everybody, teachers, parents, like everybody.
Where are you at, Crystal? You can join.
Yeah, did you check your DMs? I sent her the link.
Oh shit. Hold on.
Orange push-up rocked. Oh, orange was my favorite too.
How about the little snowballs with the coconut layer of?
Oh yeah. What they called a marshmallow?
Yeah.
Like,
I think you're all about to be tripping.
We're all about to
be tripping. You ready? Stay ready. Go now. Oh shit, let me get this. Hold on, wait for it. Keep waiting for it, but I'm gonna pull this up. What do we got here, Charlie? What is this? Ooh, that's that Neapolitan like astronaut shit.
Yep.
Are you guys ready to trip?
Yeah.
You guys ready to trip some balls? Boom!
Balls.
What's up, Sabrina Wallace?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, girl. Hi, Rena.
Good to see you all. I heard you talking about the GATE program.
Yo.
Yes.
Yes.
Help us.
Help.
Well, the GATE program, Charlie has it mostly right because it was geospatial related, cradle to grave, but they had started in Vietnam with testing for what would happen generationally. That's why we have 50 years of digital twins instead of like 20. So with the GATE program, which came off of a 60s program and a 50s program and a 40s program, they'd already been doing these data sets since 1908-ish and coming forward, okay? So the GATE program, gifted and talented, all the different derivatives, just like Charlie pointed out, you're talking about people that were meant to go into a certain industry and beyond that to keep people's albumin production low, new gray matter, brain growth low, not just with the EMF, but the stress in other people, because they wanted to control exactly who would breed with who and where and how and who got what job, why. Well, it's called omics today, OMICS. They called it eugenics back in the day, and we all know here, at least in this crowd, before the Aussies was the United States. And so the other reason for the pink goo, the frequency testing in the ears, brain-computer interface, that DARPA 2015 peripheral nerves to MAC IDs, well, if you can feel your nerves, you're a little more uppity to the system. It's more than just magnetism. That's your genetic response as well, which holds off the CRISPR-Cas9, even with perturbation, pressure, optics, because like finding K factor points out, your brain doesn't have a firewall when it comes to the optical. Even with all of that, alloreceptors, jumping genes. So anybody who had real abilities, you were on the list. Keep you as stressed as possible, get you the least amount of nutrients, limited breath, because bioelectricity and the ability to use that hidden anatomy is a lot to, or excuse me, I should say it this way, has a lot to do with your breath and your nutrients, electrolytes, minerals, things like that. So they already had all of that based off of Vietnam to see how they could, through the breeding of people, get exactly who and where and what they wanted when. Now, that might sound like a lot just playing Sims the Dollhouse, but think about the C40 agenda, because 2030 is already built. The millionaire class needs special genetics physically close enough to them for their regenerative medicine. You don't prepare that in 1 or 2 generations. So that's why when I kept hearing the GATE program and all these other things, I'm like, this is the same body area network system with your eugenics healthcare. Sorry, mix. Truly, it's the same overlay. So that's all I wanted to say. Because Charlie's right on, and so is Heather, and so is Dawn in South Carolina. I mean, all of us who had different levels and layers of testing, it always ends up being about our family and what they were involved in as well. And the few outliers that weren't, I've often found were adopted or they were placed with someone too. And then, of course, the different horror stories from there for like, why did this happen in different families? But it's still eugenics based. And that's way more than just your blood type. So databases.
Linda Grad's asking, did the GATE program ever have children looking at ink blots and ask what the picture looked like? I remember doing that.
I did. I remember that. I remember the ink block test.
Was that all kids though? I mean, I guess they would be testing all kids, I guess, to some degree to see where their brain landed on stuff.
I'm trying to remember when that happened.
Would that kind of be weeding us out to see, okay, who's a prospect and who's just going to be the laborer of the world? I don't know.
No, I think Charlie had it right with her ideas program. Excuse me, connection. I think she's right because it was more than just the inkblot test for like critical thought. It wasn't just people with their own nervous system. It was also critical thought or creativity. They want the AI to be using that physical brain matter. They don't want you to be able to access that tissue on your own. And that's another place where a lot of people were heavily tested. And then you add in the pink stuff or the different type of drug where they're watching in the brain connectome, wiring diagram of the brain, what neural networks need to be suppressed and which don't. There's your critical thought. I think Charlie's right on.
Yeah.
Well, Sabrina, I don't know if you ever saw, Booma, I just sent you some images of the area I grew up in, Silicon Valley. It's called Foster City. And there's this, it was right next to Gilead. Gilead is in Foster City. 33% of Foster City's population works for Gilead to this day. And the aerial shot of the area I grew up, do you see it, Booma?
Yeah, I'll start pulling it up. I just want to say hi to Krista. What's up?
Oh, hi, Krista. Another gate baby.
Yeah. I remember the ink blots, you guys. Oh my goodness. But the frequency testing that they always just called hearing test, but it wasn't a regular hearing test.
So Sabrina, this is Foster City, and you can see that serpent looking thing. At the tail of the serpent is Oracle.
Oh, wow.
And just to the right of the serpent, where that red flag is Gilead. At the mouth of the serpent is $500 million wastewater treatment plant.
Mm-hmm.
That they just installed in the past couple years. And I've gone up there recently. We wanted to go onto that crown or the brain of the serpent and just sort of do some reconnaissance, because this is where I grew up, and looking at it from this angle is crazy. But there's right at the mouth of the serpent, there's a sculpture of two fangs on the ground there. I'll try and pull that up in a minute here. But Booma, if you can you go to that other shot where it shows the aerial view of Gilead? Because Gilead Labs, because it has, I thought it was very interesting that Gilead has in their groundscaping what appears to be a fucking Van de Graaff generator, an electrostatic generator, which, some sort of, creepy admission of method, using electrostatic energy with, as we're talking about with, the gate kids, or with, as is necessary for, transhuman biodigital convergence.
Well, in the smart environment, that energy harvesting is heavily reliant upon architecture. So like the snake shaping there and the way that your city structure is actually architecturally laid out, that's extremely common. And then it's a biopharmaceutical company, according to a basic search, but I've heard of it before. A lot of times they will put, because they've got everybody scared to death of symbology, they will put things there just to be fearful so that nobody's looking at the main company you're pointing out here that everybody's working for, because there's your wastewater and anything electrostatic and architecture that is in use. That's your Department of Energy, dark fiber side, free space optical. So you're still right, Charlie Cook.
I've been trying to figure this shit out. It's been very helpful having your insight through the past couple years, because you've really helped me put some things in my own understanding together. And thank you. So many blessings to you for doing that, because it's brought a lot of clarity.
Thank you. And thank you for your continued bravery. Hitting this stuff head on is no easy task for anybody at any level of comprehension.
It's crazy. It's bananas.
But the more of us that they see out here doing it, like you're doing it now, instead of getting caught up in like, it's architecture. They do this. There's more than one reason for everything they do. So it's easier that way to understand when everybody, they stop there and they stay in the fear, and, then they go off in different areas. But for our channel, just like you did on your own, biopharmaceutical company, what are they doing there? There's fangs in the ground, etc. Okay, that's great. what do they do? How involved with the Pfizer, the Moderna, the wastewater, the biosludge, and the body area networks are they really?
Right.
Yeah.
This is a lot of.
Crystal, this is a hepatitis shot company. That's big money for a long time.
No, really?
Oh, yeah. FDA approved. Oh, I've heard lots of horror stories about the hep shots and what those were really for. Allegedly, they weren't. It was all about where it hits in the ovaries, especially with girls.
The HPV is the worst. It's
Right.
horrible. It causes infertility. It causes POTS. And then you can't get POTS diagnosed. So kids just walk around with dropping blood pressures, can't take a deep breath, neurological issues. A lot of them have like basic, like mild stroke type neurological issues for years. They just learn to live with it. It's disgusting.
Oh my God.
And I used to just think they pushed it on girls, but oh no, they push it on boys too. Yeah.
Well, that's,
Good time.
but see, when I was a teenager, the HPV wasn't something that was really talked about with guys that I knew of. It was pushed really hard on us, you know, getting
Right.
checked for it. Oh, yeah, you have this and blah, blah, blah. And it was like when I went to the doctor for my daughter, she didn't want to take any shots. She doesn't want to put any shots at all, which is great. But I was like, you know, that's something that I've known several women to have, you said, got diagnosed with, and nothing ever happened. It went away. Like if you look at them now, it's not even in there. So why are you pushing this so hard? Well, it's just because, you know, wouldn't you just feel horrible if they ended up with this cancer and you didn't do what you could to help them? And I was just like, so what happens when something goes wrong? What happens when something goes wrong and we need, you know, she needs more medical attention? Are you guys going to step up and help? And then I said, I want to see the package insert. She was like, that's not my job. I'm like,
You know
but
what's
you're the
really
one
dumb about
recommending that.
You know what's dumb, Heather, is that bottom line, most of the common strains of HPV that are passed in sex, about 90% of the time, cervical warts will go away with a woman when she gives vaginal birth. They slough off. They literally slough off when the cervix dilates. And a lot of people never get them back. So the idea that it's a virus that stays with you forever is such a lie. There's a lot of people, a lot of women that had maybe one case, had a vaginal birth, no more. And they didn't pass it during the pregnancy either, which they used to say was a guaranteed. So I don't know. The whole thing has been a scam, all of it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Gotta stay safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like putting on a social media condom when you're dealing with some of these platforms. Sorry, Heather, I had to mute you because you got a little bit of feedback, and I think you might be frozen now. There she comes back. Oh, look at that! We got two Heathers. Sorry, I had to mute you on the other one because I was getting a little bit of feedback. It wasn't Charlie. Sorry, Charlie, for accusing you earlier. It wasn't you. It wasn't your hubby.
Okay.
It was Heather.
Okay, but is it still a problem? You hearing it still?
Nope.
Can you hear me at all?
You're good. I can hear you. Can you guys hear Heather?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Dawn, can you hear Heather? Dawn, can you hear me?
Yes, I was on mute. Can
Okay.
Heather speak? I didn't hear her.
Hi, Dawn. Can you hear me
No.
now? Can't
All
hear
right,
me
Dawn.
now?
Dawn, you got to drop out and come back in again.
Okay.
This is a fun game that we play here on Booma Streama. But is it, Crystal, is it still something heavily pushed, and is it a problem right now? Still?
Absolutely. Only, like I said, now they're pushing it to the teenage boys from the age of 12. So it's not just
now the boys.
Both, yes.
Have they
I
changed?
didn't even realize. I found that out, Booma, when Jasmine turned 13 and Erica took her to the doctor and got talked into the first shot, and Jasmine instantly started having really bad symptoms. And I mean, POTS, the whole 9 yards. It went on and went on, and detoxed her the best we could, and it got somewhat better, but she's never completely gotten over it. And we said no to the second one, and I went to the doctor with her and my daughter, and I told them, I said, do you give this to all teenagers? They said girls, yes, boys also. And that was a shocker for me, because I didn't even realize they allowed boys to take it. So yeah, it's both.
But what is the point of the boys taking it? If this is a problem that it specifically causes warts on girls,
but it's not just on girls. You can get penile warts too. It can be either one. It's passed during sex. So men can get genital warts just like women can.
Right. But are they saying that it causes cancer for them too? Because as far as, I mean, I'm trying to remember.
There's a lot of different strains from what I understand.
There's a lot of different strains. Sometimes cancer is what their excuse is. Sometimes it's just uncomfortableness, problems with urination. I've heard lots of different excuses. So most of them are all BS. That's just the truth of it. I mean, there is a time and a place for removing them. If somebody is having a structural issue where they're in the way of the urethra or causing some kind of problems, but if they're not, and especially with a very first diagnosis, people should, especially a woman, if she's in a committed relationship or plans on having a baby, I would wait first and see, because they might just slough off. So, and then you never have the problem again, because that shot is allegedly not good for anything. It just isn't. They call them positives.
They call them warts, and we get warts on our hands or whatever. I used to have one, and I had to put this stuff on it every night. I remember it stunk really bad.
Different type of herpes virus. Different type of herpes virus. But still transferred in a lot the same way, by contact, right? Because as long as they're in that herpes family, they still transfer by contact. So
what do you think herpes is? Because some people here don't believe in viruses.
Well, that's
or
on
would you not call it a virus? Would you call it a biological weapon?
Could it be synthetic biology? Very possibly.
Would you call it something that Sabrina Wallace would call it that's above my pay grade?
Synthetic biology. That's what I would say.
Sabrina, what do you call it?
Wandering bacteria, because you exchanged fluids one way or another.
But it's not permanent like they make it sound? You don't think?
In my opinion, allegedly, the human body has multiple ways to slough off cells. Okay. Yep. And that's what Crystal is saying about birth, but that's just one way. There's many different things between sweating and the way dermatology is still talked about with your skin. And therefore, when it comes to anything with warts or skin lesions, etc., unless aside from Morgellons and like nanowire you're pulling out and putting on an index card, there's always changes in the diet, changes in water, changes in your sleep schedule on purpose to disrupt the way that your metabolism is handling all those phasion networks to deal with the surface of the skin. So I always tell people to get really in touch in a sauna or a steam bath or just by yourself in your bathroom and try a couple different things self-care style before you commit to a drug. Why? Neurotransmitters and chemicals your body gets very used to or dependent on whatever chemical help the drug is giving. So even if you only have a couple weeks or 30 days at least to try some other natural methods, you could avoid being stuck on a neurotransmitter type of chemical hormonal alteration, which it's always better to be with as few of those as you need to, in my opinion.
And there are a lot of natural things. For instance, what do people use for warts on their hands and stuff for years? They would cut a potato open and rub the starchy liquid from the potato on it. And then they would cover it. And the starch would literally take away the oxygen to the organism, whatever it is, virus, biologic, synthetic biologic. And bottom line, it would starve it out and it would dry up and fall off. So there's things you can do. Same. I mean, I would rather put nail polish on it like people used to do than take something chemical for it. I think there's better alternatives, like internally chemical. I wouldn't want to. So
Interesting. I think I got one wart on my foot one time, and then I never got another wart ever in my life.
And why is it that some kids get one and they just get them everywhere, and other kids get one and never have another? You know, so.
Well, isn't the herpes virus basically chicken pox?
It's one. That's one of them they say. Yeah, but what is chicken pox? Because we all had chicken pox, right?
I think it was in the childhood vaccines, whatever it was.
So you don't think it was because of getting in contact with another kid that had them?
I think there's
that triggered it, like the biophil concurrence, if you will.
Yeah, that's how I got him.
Yeah.
Well, bam! You hit me sound.
Our parents used to take us to each other's houses when somebody had chickenpox, so everybody got it, and everybody got over it, and then they were immune. I broke the cake because I had it 3 times. So,
wow.
Everybody says. I mean, I had it when I was 2. I had it when I was 6. Got it in first grade, and then in 7th grade, I got a horrible case, and then after that, I was immune. I didn't get it anymore. So, and I know I didn't get it anymore
3 times.
For some reason, I just didn't build immunity to it the first 2 times. Maybe the doctor, of course, told my mom he thought that I didn't have a bad enough case the first couple times. So I don't know. The last time it was a doozy. I had scabs everywhere. So it was bad. And I know that worked because both my kids had it and I didn't get it then. So
we got smoke signals coming up from of
Biscuits,
course
these are for you.
Of course Biscuits would catch that on Sabrina's end. Is this something? Herpes and joints is arthritis. I mean, there's all kinds of herpes viruses, right? You can get eye herpes, chickenpox is a form of herpes, but then the shingles comes from the early exposure from chickenpox, right? Or that's what they say.
Because it sits dormant in the nerves. Yes.
Right.
Shingles is horrible. Shingles is worse as far as I'm concerned than chickenpox was.
Oh, I've never had it, but I've only heard horror stories because you have like breakouts and stuff all over your body and your skin and stuff like that. Like
my uncle had it on his eye.
Me too.
It usually will follow a pattern of the body. So like when I had it over one whole nerve pattern from the middle of my sternum all the way around under my arm to the middle of my back. And then it would just stop like you drew a line. It was really weird and very painful.
Yeah, it lives in the nerves, right? It hides in the nerves.
Wow. I didn't know young people caught shingles. I thought it was more usually in the later stages of life.
Used to be an older person. Yep. Not anymore.
How does that happen? It used to be and now it isn't anymore. That just doesn't.
They say something, some effect, and it's usually a stress to the body. We'll think of all the hormone stressors we have nowadays, right? And it's some kind of stressor causes it to reactivate in the nerve bed. So, and causes it to restart itself up. And for whatever reason, they never have an exact reason, but usually they say it's affected by severe trauma, some type of really bad emotional time in your life, sometime when the body itself is under a lot of hormonal stress. Well, everybody's under a lot more hormonal stress now than we used to be because we're breathing and our biosphere's corrupted, allegedly. Sorry.
You can say that one.
Yeah.
Robert talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Dr. Letitia Potova? I feel like I've heard of her.
I've heard of her, but I don't remember.
Straight brown hair. I wouldn't call her an older lady. I don't know, 40s, 50s maybe. You have to let us know, Vicky. I think I've heard of her. I've watched some videos. I don't know what to believe on some of this stuff. but this is all the kind of stuff that they're unleashing on us. And Sabrina, weren't you highlighting that gentleman that's the Social Security attorney? I don't know what his official title is or whatever. He's talking about how they're claiming that they're going to have cures for a lot of things as long as you follow what they're.
Yes, you have to
telling
be
you to do.
compliant with nanotechnology. That's why all these different skin diseases, autoimmune disorders for years now that, we just don't know. And what they tell us, it's your genetics to justify their eugenics, omics-based precision AI healthcare system. You want to be cured? Then you hit the button on your phone for now.
Wow. That's going to cause a lot of people to do it because pain is probably the
You
most
better believe
driving
it.
force.
And that's why I pointed out that they started among the least of us in that college textbook that haunts us in our senior homes, 2014. Then they're going through the deaf, the blind, the people at home, disability, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, poverty. And that's why I got so upset with Mickey Mouse, because until they hit the homeless, like 3 years ago, I think, then finally it was deployed. And I'm like, this is really bad because nobody will admit what they're doing. And we have more people on the channel, pardon my nose, all the time that they're doctors and nurses, they know, and they just say, well, I don't talk about that, or something akin to that. But our seniors are a huge target for this. Yeah, they're scared to go with Crystal. You talked about this. Our seniors are afraid to be without that wearable. Help, I phone and I can't get up is real. Yeah.
And they socially engineer it into their heads too. They really do. It really sucks because they live in the fear that they cannot function without that thing. It's awful. I see it a lot.
Pray the warts away. I like it. Pray the Wi-Fi away. Pray the warts away.
Virus is not what that's your microbe track and trace. It's an upgrade to your track and trace from the COVID, in my opinion.
You're right. I shared that article on the Hauntanet that was based off of your video that you did on that, and I had no idea that existed. That's crazy.
Yeah. Completely.
I always knew that they would bring healthcare as you will not have healthcare if you're not willing to be augmented. You will not have healthcare if you're not willing to be a part of the bio-tokenized economy. It makes logical sense that they're first going to make everybody as sick as possible, allegedly, and then turn around and offer that solution, just like any other Hegelian dialectic. The difference is we've all been raised to be very comfortable with the quick fix. Take a pill, do this. Everything's fast and easy. And so we haven't grown up in learning to understand our own body and know what we can do on our own. Try the natural things that God gives us around us that are simple and easy to get better. And frankly, the generations before us, my parents' generation, the elderly now, they were even more deceived into this system. They really were. And it breaks my heart because a lot of them literally do not believe they can exist without their doctor. They literally don't.
Yep.
My mom was homeless for a little while. She had a lot of health issues, and she ended up in a shelter called Shepherd's Gate up in Livermore, by Lawrence Livermore. And it does make me wonder if that facility wasn't some sort of satellite hub for whatever, whatever the creeps were doing with neuromodulation with the homeless people, because after that is when she really started with her psych issues, hearing voices, and what was categorized as dementia and schizophrenia. And I moved her down to be closer next to me, and she was able to live on her own for a couple years, but then had some very serious strokes. So we brought her to our house. And right at the beginning of the COVID mess, and we have no Wi-Fi here. And as some of you guys know, like the voices for her stopped once she got away from
Right.
the Wi-Fi. So I wonder, because they had mandatory vaccines in that shelter. So I have so many questions and so much sorrow, surrounding that. Not only
And
for my own
also,
mom,
Charlie, how do we not know that even in that place that the HVAC was set up for it, that it was in the walls? We don't know. The food that they fed, did they get that government subsidy? We don't know. So, I mean, all of those things we already know as went on in the homeless situations, with multiple people coming out online and saying, look, I have a friend, they were homeless. They ended up in this pretty much free setup from the government to have an apartment. Everything was provided as long as we didn't get high and stayed in the program. And then the next thing you know, they're all having weird dreams at night, seeing premonitions and weird things, or dementia, voices in their head, schizophrenia. Then they get 9 different mental health diagnoses that they can't get out of. They seem to follow them no matter what happens. So that would not shock me. Not anymore. Not anymore.
there's a homeless development that the Bay Area, the Silicon Valley area, right next to Google, has set up. They've invested a ton of money into what appears, for all intents and purposes, to be a smart village for the unhoused.
That sounds like a test run, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's right next to Google, right next to Meta, right next to a correctional facility that is probably also a bunch of lab rats. Nice next to a police station, which are lab rats too, right? But with guns.
Right.
So it's very interesting to watch them design this whole system. It's very, very prevalent in Silicon Valley. It's really easy to see all the things that Sabrina, you talk about being manifest up there, but nobody's creeped out by it because they've been so busy embracing tech as their god for
it's a religion. Yeah, it's a full-on religion. It's not science, which you hear out of those different industries all the time on the YouTube. Students, ex-professors, it's not science. It's an absolute technocratic religion, completely. Yes.
And does the serpent play into that? Because, I know JK has had some things to say about, the serpent being a dominant symbol, of course, biblically, but in the technocratic system, the crowned serpent, the crowning of the serpent being the manifestation of the creep's golden age or age of enlightenment, the Luciferian age.
Well, also the medical symbol with the snake that goes.
The two of them.
Caduceus.
The Caduceus.
Yeah, in my opinion, all of that is more fear factor because the serpent symbol in alchemy, metallurgy, medicine, universities, there's a whole other parallel track of academia and actual useful medicine men, medicine women in villages. We never hear about that. We always hear about everything that, like we just mentioned. And what you find is that if there's a serpent symbol, it's medicinal in one format or another. And when it comes to the transhumanism, you have to keep in mind the perspective they're driving on. They're under the skin, controlling every molecule. They're saving the planet. They are providing life extension technology, synthetic foods so that you don't have any illnesses or sicknesses. To them, this is the answer, because all these faux religions didn't provide actual physical solutions, and they have. And when you get down to, well, how did the HOW, they've been doing it for so long, and do you see what I'm saying? It's zealotry for them. So the serpent symbol, whether in architecture, what I mentioned about why all these, the delta of the river and the way it's built for the aqueducts and centuries old ways of porting water for different agriculture, or the limestone for the engineered biological materials of which the concrete is poured in a certain way. But the serpent itself as a symbol throughout Proto-Hebrew, Phoenician, it's escaped, the word's going out of my brain, the one where they draw in symbols, syllabary, that's wisdom, and usually medicinal, or as I said, foundational wisdom, like how you build a house. Throughout antiquity, right now, there are ways that you go about setting a foundation for a building or a home that doesn't change a whole lot, plus or minus your materials. And that serpent represents wisdom, which is why they don't want you going anywhere near, like in the example there, that's a biopharmaceutical company, and it's Donald Rumsfeld, and everybody knows what's going on. But instead, we end up with it's demonic, and that's where the conversation stops, because most people, they don't want to talk about that stuff. You know what I mean? So this is their hide in plain sight stuff as well, in my opinion, because it's always the same. It's some sort of foundational wisdom that they then manipulate. And that's that the serpent symbol is either usually medicinal, or it's some sort of foundational wisdom for architecture, building, some sort of wisdom that is long lasting, longevity. In my opinion, just being a history nerd and other things. So more expansive, what I run into a lot, like you mentioned about pattern recognition, that's where I'm pulling that opinion from. I know it's not popular, but it's just my opinion.
It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Because, I mean, most of the truther movement is hyperfixated on the signs and symbols. And I say truther movement for lack of a better term, but most of the people who are trying to suss their way out of the Babylonic lie end up in this realm of symbols and get very caught up in that. So I really appreciate your take going deeper into, okay, but what's really going on?
I'm big about the why. Like, I want to know the motivation. Why did you trade with that village? Why did you stop trading with that village? Like, for example, in the Black Plague, and everybody said, well, they're carrying, the Sumerians as well, they're carrying a purse. And then they argued about what the pine cone really was, et cetera, et cetera. And so I'm big about the why, and I get curious, and I can read in several languages. So the syllabary is usually the dead giveaway for those of you into anthropology. You'll find the why and what they're really using stuff for. Face to face, left and right sides of the brain. Yeah, they use the snake, that Kundalini stuff forever to hide bioelectricity for themselves. Like, the biggest thing that repeats is that as long as you are confused, they're good. And the nervous system, of course.
Yeah, you're a little controversial with a lot of things that clash with the stuff that gets pushed through the truther movement.
Me?
Sabrina Wallace, yes.
Oh, well.
And I swear you just like turned off the light that was coming through your window, because when you first came on, you had light coming through the window. Now it's just like pitch dark.
I can turn the light on.
When did you force Firewall or your caretaker to freaking nail your camera to the ceiling?
Well, I know. It's not going to live here. I threw everything together to talk about the Haunted Net. But Charlie, I want to say thank you to you, because I was mentioning it earlier in the chat, prior to the gate conversation even, when you just said these signs and symbols, they do have meaning. They absolutely do. But that meaning changes with the time we're living in. Business, culture, religions, exchange, mercantile. I mean, we have to factor all of that in. And that's why it's tough, because I know everybody's like, well, but they're so evil, etc. Okay, but they're paying the mortgage. That's a lot of what I've found, is that, like you mentioned with Silicon Valley, so many people there and they're doing the jobs. Well, like I said, to them, they're saving the world.
Right.
And could it be kind of like sleight of hand, where they're showing you something to look at? Like, you can do the pretty lady thing, but you can also do the Barnum Bailey Circus freak show, where you show them the freak show while the real stuff's going on over here.
Yeah.
Because this is what we keep getting brainwashed with Bohemian Grove. the owl, spiders, snakes, all this kind of stuff. People are almost instinctually fearful of a lot of these kind of things, various things, especially snakes for whatever reason. Are they showing this kind of stuff for us to like kind of distract us or fear us and to like look here and pay attention to these symbols, but you're not seeing what's really going on?
I think they did it to make people give up. Like a lot of people now are so fed up. Look how long the Epstein files have been out. And they're like, okay, if you're not going to arrest people, stop talking about it. Like I'm tired of hearing about it because you're not doing anything about it. And same type of thing with the symbols because nobody could agree. That's what I think is going on. More infighting.
And I agree with Sabrina that it has to do with wisdom, but I also agree with the HOW that they have an inverted understanding of wisdom. Even if they don't think it is, they have inverted the knowledge of God and the way he does things into like an upside down mirror image of it where they think that's going to work and they can save the world and be their own God. So.
Yep. Don't eat the graphene from the tree of knowledge, transhumanism.
Right. Exactly.
That makes sense because, they had
Makes
Alex
total
Jones.
sense.
Go ahead.
Sorry, it makes total sense, doesn't it, Charlie?
I think so. I mean, Alex Jones, right? Was the guy who was at Bohemian Grove, allegedly, right?
Right. All seemed like a good setup.
There you go, Booma.
We got light now. But yeah, it was crazy because I watched, I swear, when you came on, you had light coming through the window and it looked nice, and all of a sudden it was just pitch dark.
I put my candles on. Charlie, your point about Alex Jones, he got into Bohemian Grove. Don't ever tell Juxtaposition that. He'll take your ear right off.
Wait,
Yeah,
what is
no.
Juxta take on it?
It's it's bullshit, obviously. I mean,
Right.
and that's how it seems, that's one of the ways that they wrangled people into this obsession with the symbolism, the owl, and like you said, Sabrina, they get stuck there. And they can't actually find their footing in what's actually happening with the technocrats, because it becomes all witchy and woo woo, and then they're disempowered unless they, join or learn how to move into the 12th dimension. I know a lot of people who are,
12th dimension. What the fuck?
conflating they're saying that they're having ascension symptoms, but they're actually augmentation symptoms, right?
It's the 5D, Charlie.
Is what?
Don't you ever listen to Charlie Ward? It's the 5D.
Oh, 5.
Yeah, you went way too high.
We lost count. That's what happened.
That's 70s LSD 12D stuff.
There's these new age people who are like out there. This one fellow named Christoph Melchizedek. Literally, that's what his name is. Christoph Melchizedek. You can break that down to Christ of Melchizedek.
Right.
And he's a new age guy. Yeah, it only costs 150 grand, and he'll take you there. He'll take you to the 12D where you can fight the archons.
Oh my god!
And this guy, he speaks at places like some people in the chat have probably heard of him. He speaks at places like Anarchapulco, some of these these truther hub things that they do.
How do you do? What is it? Christoph Melchizedek? He said.
Christoph Melchizedek. Yeah. So you can't have a more anti-Christ name than that. I mean, that's.
For 150 grand, I'll find an alternative to go to the 12th dimension.
Yeah.
With him?
Oh, hell no.
This has to be him, right? This bald dude?
Oh.
Yeah, he's bald. He takes people to Egypt and they open up allegedly, they sit there and meditate and open up the channels in the pyramid so that they can take back AI for good.
Oh Lord, that sounds like what Sabrina talked about in the past. Sabrina, when you talked about
that's what I was
2000.
thinking. Yeah,
Oh
children
my
of light
gosh.
redo. They get them near the pyramid and they tell them, "Oh yeah, go ahead, do what you want." The Egyptian government's got that molecular communication locked up since the 30s too. Oh, we're channeling through the pyramid. Oh, okay. Just a
Scared
nano.
of what you're actually channeling. I'm sure it's not what you think it is. That's for sure.
Yeah, all the way back to Crowley when he thought he was channeling Lambda. That's a supercomputer today. Once him and JPL and their Scientology founders were done with whatever they were doing, then we could call it the supercomputer it is, right? Only 150K. Now I'm with Dawn. You can get a mortgage for that. Come on.
Right?
Wow, what a grifter. That's like that prosperity gospel stuff. But he's like saying that if you give 150,000, that's how you get what to 12D?
Well, that's one of the programs he allegedly offers. I mean, you can do like, I think, smaller classes, but if you want the gold package,
the Monty, the full Monty,
the full Monty, if you want to ascend properly.
Well, we do oscillate to 12-dimensional oscillation with our neurons all on our own. So kind of like saving 30 grand for a stem cell treatment. I'm good. I can oscillate to the 12D every time I pylorect. I'm good.
Where's Biscuits? Biscuits, add this fool to the freaking wiki files, man. We need to go into this guy and make sure that people expose the shit out of this. Oh my gosh.
I heard about him through there's a guy out there named Jeff Berwick.
That's what I was just laughing at, Angelos.
Angelos. I got to meet Angelos at the freaking classes. Oh gosh, Angelos was awesome. But that's awesome. But go ahead, Charlie. Sorry to. So you, Jeff Berwick, huh? He's the Bitcoin
You know
guy,
that
right?
guy, the dollar vigilante. You know that guy?
Yeah, he pushes a lot of Bitcoin and shit.
Yeah, he's all about that. So evidently he got kind of doxxed for scamming people. So now he lives in the 12th dimension to escape all of his fucking shame for the low price. And the reason that he hooked up with Christoph, the story is at the Anarchapulco conference. He was standing backstage. He's one of the people who runs Anarchapulco, and Christoph was behind him. And he said he just felt this surge, this jolt, and he just started emoting and crying. And Christoph came up to him and said, "Hey, brother, I think you're having a profound spiritual experience right now." And I'm thinking what Brina's always talking about, like, did he buy one of those fucking things on the eBay and zap Jeff and make him think that like, is that the grift now, that these fuckers have these like remote controls that they can zap people with? And
dude, it's an app on the phone. It is a downloadable app on the phone since 2000.
Is that what Benny? What was that? Well, Benny Hahn? Was that the name of that crazy Christian pastor, fake guy that he would do this shit where like the whole crowd would fall over? Maybe it's just a suggestibility thing because these people believe so much. But was someone like behind them, like pushing, like, bloop?
In Lana Del Rey concerts, they all knocked over too.
Wow. I've listened to a little bit of Jeff Berwick. Some of his rants against Trump are pretty epic, but I don't get into any of his other stuff. So he's in the 12D hiding out, huh? I'm pretty sure he lives in Mexico.
Yeah, he's pitching the Tesla machine. It's the TZLA machine, and it's evidently got
Benny Hinn.
Plasma. Somebody mentioned it in the comment. Jeff Berwick's selling this Tesla energy that he thinks is curing everybody for like, I think he's selling it for like $11,111, something like that. And
all these guys, man. I think Ryan Belly got involved in some like hoaxer thing. And then you got Jesse Beltran hooking up with the company selling the old Zeolite. I haven't heard from that fool for a little while. What's his name? Matt Hazen, the CEO of. I was going back and forth with him for a while, and then he just became annoying. I thought I was going to annoy him, but no, he wins. He wins. I'll give you that. You are more Matt Hazen. You are way more annoying than I can be to you. You are a fucking psychopath. Anyways. These guys are crazy. But it got all these guys that had little pieces of truth, as grifts often go. I've never heard of this Christoph dude. This is a whole nother level, though. 150K. Oh my goodness. That's like Gene Decode's wet dream. Anyways, these people are fucking nuts. But this was when I first learned about Sabrina Wallace. There was hardly anybody like pushing any of that information out there. And then I learned about juxtaposition, did some work with him. And at their level, there was no one. But some of these guys that were like maybe a little bit hopeful now are all teaming up with devices or magic potions or some bullshit and using certain amounts of truth and then selling something that is a snake oil fucking joke. Or worse, connecting you into shit that they want, that the people, the puppet masters, AI, whatever the fuck is actually in control, wants you to have connected to your biofield and your fucking biosensors. This is crazy. The grift is evolving, yes.
The fact that they've got all the, the holistic and functional medicine doctors now promoting the vagal nerve stimulating devices is crazy to me.
And bioelectricity everywhere, every kind of patch, every quantum, everything. That's all you ever hear. And so I know.
Behavior modification for your 12-year-old on your morning news show. Put a BCI on that baby. Leave it alone. Yep.
Well, Heather, where did you go? Or you just turned into a dot? Dawn, how are you?
I am well, thank you. I'm really enjoying the conversation, and I just I don't have much to add because I'm absorbing, but yeah, it blows my mind. But it's all right. We're all gonna be all right.
In this life or the next. But Sabrina, if you haven't met Dawn's been in the group for a long time, at least on the Booma side of things. I don't know if you're in Synergy, but you've been a very awesome person to have in the Telegram chat and along this ride. So if I can introduce you to you right now, then there you go.
Hi,
Awesome.
Sabrina.
Hi, Dawn.
Nice to meet you. I think we conversed a while back, but I was just like, we share the same name.
Yep, there's Dawn in there, huh?
Ooh.
But real quick, just because, so we got Crystal here, we got some people in the chat. We just Angelos was in the chat. I think I saw Matt earlier, but I don't know if he's still here. Some people that were at the Sabrina Wallace classes in Verona, MO. It was awesome, and
It was.
yes, it was. I was honored to be able to go there. I got to bond with Firewall a lot more, and that was freaking awesome. And then hang out a little bit with Sabrina, even though you were so busy with your classes, we got a little bit of time. But Sabrina's classes are, if you can make it to them and you're even questioning it, man, I'll say it again, you got to get there and then just be amongst other people like in this community and the Synergy community and beyond. It was amazing. And thank you, Sabrina. Like, your teaching was awesome. Like, it was the greatest like healing community gathering that I've ever been to.
Because it's all about y'all, the band, from start to finish. We start out with a line of people, right hand down, left hand up, following the natural magnetism of the body and extra cat hair. Like, it's an extremely grounded experience. But Booma, I took a page out of your party bus. Remember we were standing there out front of the hotel and there was that VW bus? But yes. I took a page out of your community, knowing that that's what people want. They want to talk to each other and learn. They want to practice. Yes. And that's what we did. That's it. There's no signups. There's no emails. You don't come in and there's no recordings. It's free range. You show up, you take the class. All you got to do is get yourself there. And you get to find the donation basket for 10 minutes at the very end, but you'll probably be distracted because we've got different areas with different activities that after we do it all as a group, different people gather together to talk more extensively about how they do what they do. That's why I'm telling y'all, it's about you. I don't stand up in the front because if you wanted that, you could watch videos. It's about all of us getting together and being on that even ground so that you can have a conversation without having to repeat yourself 20 times or feel like you have to justify your existence. Simple stuff.
Everybody
It was
just
also biofield ethical, because with all the crazy things, Sabrina, I've seen online, people saying that people are taking energy from each other and, you know, all kinds of insanity. There was none of that. It was very ethical, and people had their own personal boundaries. They did what they were comfortable with. Everybody walked out of there learning something about themselves, because like you said, you don't need you need us. You need yourself.
That's right.
And so it was a reminder of something we already have the ability to do.
Crystal, I'm glad you brought that up, because in table work or the magnetic shielding work where the person is blindfolded in the middle, throughout the entire time, including when talking about any topic of the healing or a modality with stones or whatever, people were walking in and out. People had side conversations that they needed to go have and then would come back. And I was told after the fact, and I meant to talk to you about this in the flurry, Crystal. They said, wow, Sabrina, that was wonderful, because I didn't feel pressured. I learned so much more. And I said, well, yeah, the whole thing in the education world where you're locked in and, you know, everybody's driving on the clock, and that's pressure, cortisol in your nervous system. And we're working with the nervous system, so we don't want that. And then people also warm up. If you give people room, and you that's the first thing we go over on Friday night, is those biofield ethics. You pull your field in, you learn to connect, disconnect, not hang on, not be listening in. No, you pull your energy in, you center and focus, then you connect with a different person. And that's a big deal, because by the time you get to Saturday, everybody can feel that connectivity. And they also are aware that they don't want to be feeling that. That's personal to somebody else. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's a lot of self-respect that is contiguous, because that is the environment that the band nurtures. That's our Heartfire Garden, that your faith is sacred, but so is your body. So if you need to step outside or do your thing, you do your boo. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. Just some of the conversations and stuff. And then it was funny because, not really funny, because when I was first thinking about going down there, I was thinking, man, maybe I should have a bulletproof vest. Maybe I should have a weapon. Maybe I should be prepared for any kind of chaos or whatnot. And as soon as we got down there, it was nothing but peace and love.
Yeah.
And I felt like everybody was so stoked that there might be just so much power in this kind of a community coming together that they don't even fuck with it. Because, man, it was nothing but greatness. It was no problems. I was a little bit weary of energy vampires that people talk about or whatnot, or people infiltrating and whatnot. No, man, like it felt pure. Almost every single person there, I didn't get to talk to everybody like one-on-one, specifically, but everybody, it was super awesome to just chill. And there was a lot of chill moments. So it wasn't like you were at like a stuffy conference where you had to sit and it was like you're like getting antsy because you're waiting for the next, break or something like that. Sabrina breaks it up and is so casual and cool and smooth about the transitionings and the stuff that she does. And it was a lot about the community, like getting to like practice what she had taught and then hang out and actually talk about the things that they can't talk about with most people in their lives. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Protected by angels. I agree, Angelos.
Amen.
It was awesome.
I think it was squeaky wheel syndrome with the people when I said I quit, and they were so jealous of Booma, in the way that Booma in his community, he's all about chill and have some fun. And that's where I was already headed, knowing that the time for educating is running low because people are super stressed. So we're trying to find ways to make it more engaging for real and not make a joke of it at the same time. And that delicate balance is what I found watching Booma and Biscuits on the Gong Show. So it was all just like a natural progression. But I think they were just being squeaky wheel, hoping we wouldn't teach classes. And there was nothing. There were no issues at all. Like no reason to be stressed, nothing. Not a thing.
Right. And I think, is it the Ohio class the only one that you've announced fully so far yet? You know that you're going to have classes in other areas.
The Ohio classes are fully announced. Yep. And that, yes, those are the right times. Yep. We adjusted the timing. It was special for Missouri because of the venue, but this is the normal timing, noon to 7. Because as the Missouri people know, once you go past 6 hours on Saturday, everybody's like, whoa, because it's just a lot of learning, a lot of energy. But yeah, Ohio these are the only two that are up right now. It's South Carolina, North Carolina in that order. And the final one will be Alabama, but the firewall is still working on it. And I'm sorry to those of you who are waiting to purchase plane tickets. I am fully aware that every day that goes by, it's harder. I understand. I promise you we're doing everything we can as quickly as possible. But South Carolina first, where Dawn has a lot of knowledge around that area, and then North Carolina, and then Alabama. Those 3 are locked in. We're just waiting to be able to make the announcement.
Right. Are you ever going to try to do the West Coast side anywhere?
Oh, absolutely. There were some beautiful mom and 2 daughters I met at Confluence, and I gave them my word. We are coming to their area. So not saying where yet, because it has to do with that nice lady Joanne we met, Booma.
Right.
As well. And prayers for her right now, because that would be good. Prayers for you, Joanne. We're with you.
Yes.
Fire up.
Can we just, I don't know, Charlie, maybe you know a little bit more since you're in that Cali area or whatever, but like, what's the region and what happened in that specific area where some people had to evacuate from, like a chemical spill or something? What was it?
That's down south. It's like 500 miles away from me. So we're not evacuating, but yeah, it's, I think, Orange County. No,
It's Orange County. It is.
is it Orange County?
It's Orange County. That's where Joanne's at. Yeah. I don't know the exact ramification, but a lot of people in Orange County were caused to evacuate. So it's bad. I know that. Joanne said that she would text me and catch me up later, but I just.
It's a chemical spill though, huh?
It's a chemical spill. And it's not contained, not at this time. So they made a bunch of people evacuate.
I'll try to pull something up, see if we can look at this.
Just more emergencies, more evacuations, more.
They're also having a lot of Southern California fires, like around Valencia and different places that keep popping up, you know, little ones. And that's concerning too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Orange County toxic tank on path to spill or explode. So it could actually explode still. Dang.
I think that was the big reason they had people evacuate, was because of the explosion and then how that will dissipate. So.
Let me see if I can share this. Maybe this will give us an idea. So the evacuation zone for a crisis situation in Garden Grove spans several blocks. Authorities say 50,000 residents are impacted. They're urging everyone in the zone to leave for their safety immediately. But this is where the issue is.
That's a very populated area of Orange County.
Right.
Yep.
Garden Grove.
So what do you guys think? Deliberate? More chaos, more displacement?
I think so.
Well, it just seems like they have at least one of these every year, right? I mean, there's just certain areas that are going to chemical spills or explosions, or the telephone lines got knocked down and a giant fire started. I mean,
well, lots happening in California specifically too. It seems to be
Mhm.
displacing a lot of people.
well, and that would make sense though, because usually California is where they do their beta testing, right? That's usually where it starts. Like where if they're going to try something new, they'll do it in California and then it'll spread out.
Yeah.
Usually up here first.
Seems China owned, and then they have the Olympics coming there in 2028.
Horribly China owned. All the ports are a joke at this point. Not just that, Newsom changed some laws last year and took a lot of the gas refineries out too. He expected some of the companies to go back that had been there for 50 years and redo and double tank all of their tanks in the ground, but they weren't given any time for those changes to be made. So basically, come January 1st of this year, if you had not met that requirement, and they only gave them like 30 days, basically, a lot of the refineries started working on pulling out. So like Phillips 66 pulled out, Valero pulled out. And just in knowing that takes a lot of your older gas stations that are like on the Barstow Freeway going to Vegas that have been there for 60 years. And they're not going to go redo their tanks because they're an old station. They've been there forever. And so it automatically caused some of those places to close down, which made gas harder to find in rural areas, which is going to make gas more expensive always. So more control.
Right. Which they want it to be that way. So
Right.
one can only assume that everything
Just like
is
you took
deliberate
most
at
of the
this point.
junkyards out, you can't find hardly a used car part in Southern California anymore. They took all of the RV boneyards out. If you have an older camper, it used to be you could just drive out to the desert, find the part you needed, switch it out, no big deal. Not anymore. And then he was trying to make it last year illegal to buy a motorhome and live in it residentially in California. And that didn't go over too well. I think they kind of fought that one. So that hasn't been brought in yet as far as I know. But it was definitely brought up because there's so many people who can't afford housing in California. They just my son-in-law made $5,600 a month, and they had 3 kids still at home. Jasmine had just got her own little place, and he couldn't find a place to rent unless they were living with me and Jerry, which we did for 5 years. Because of the fact that most of the houses after the Palisades fire were like $2,800 a month for a 3-bedroom. And that wasn't even like a great 3-bedroom. That was just mediocre in the middle for Southern California. And if you didn't make 3 times the rent, they wouldn't even consider you. They didn't care what your credit score was. So they lived for an entire year in kitchenettes, basically, in hotels at $650 a week for the cheapest they could find. And then out here, no problem. Got a house, doing great. So,
wow. And for those of you asking to come on or get the link, that's not how we're doing Booma Streamas anymore. So the answer is no. We're not doing that anymore. This is how we do it. Somebody mentioned, though, I didn't even realize it. I think I had heard it a little while ago, but the FIFA World Cup is coming to United States, Canada, and Mexico now. And so here are where they're going to be. But some places, like we're talking about, Los Angeles is going to host one. I mean, that's going to be an interesting situation. I think this is the first time they've come over here, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't pay attention to FIFA very much. But you got that in 2026, and then you definitely have the Olympics coming in 2028 to Los Angeles. The only football that is gayer than football. All right, there you go, man. You would get taken out biscuits if you were to say that in certain countries. Try saying that in Brazil. These people live for their football, which is
good thing Biscuit doesn't ever want to leave his house, right?
Right.
And he said he didn't want to cross them.
Just say no. Oh man, it's crazy times, people.
Yeah.
No, I'm just tired of bringing people on. They derail conversations, and I'm planning on it. So if you were an active participant in the community, that's who we bring on, so that we know who people are. You've been here, Nagi, but I have to figure out how to get other people to come on and plan for that. But I'm not just going to start putting out the links here when we have a great conversation going on, and then somebody to come in and then possibly either derail it or ramble or take it into another direction that wasn't planned. Not that we have any of this scripted or anything like that. It's just it's a lot of moving parts, and I'm done with that part of it. And then bringing on some sketchy characters that I can't discern like on the spot as easy. So I try to be nice to people and give people the benefit of the doubt, which is a downfall of mine in some of these Booma Streamas. And I've been taken advantage of too much. And then shit gets talked in the background, and I'm fucking done with it. So some people that you're not seeing coming back on, there's a reason for that shit. Anyways, just letting y'all know what's happening. And plus, I'm with all the Booma babes, baby.
Hey, Booma, how close is the stadium where they are playing the World Cup to this most recent chemical problem?
Well, the World Cup that's coming to California, one's in Santa Clara and one's in Los Angeles.
So there are decent ways away from this spill, correct?
I'm not very familiar with you ladies.
What, 40 minutes, 45 minutes to downtown Los Angeles, about.
Okay.
40 minutes to an hour, depending on, how traffic is. About an hour most.
Okay, so an
So
hour.
it is not that far from LA.
No.
That
would make sense. They're trying to displace, and aren't they trying to turn LA eventually? Or maybe they're in the transition
it's
of turning
already
into
in the
smart,
transition. Yeah.
smart city. Right.
But anything within a 1 hour driving radius is going to be tested. I mean, it for all sorts of things. But so it could be just faulty equipment and take advantage, test it out, make sure everybody's okay. I mean, there's so many different reasons that they do this stuff. It could be for prepping the atmosphere for different types of biometric cyber biosecurity in that 1 hour drive radius. It could be a lot of things.
Crystal, do you see the comment? Every once in a while we see a shadow.
Every once in a while he comes over here and he whispers something.
Yeah, I can just shadow puppet. There you go. Do a show, Gary. Give us a puppet show, baby. Yeah, there we go.
Come here. Put your head down here. They see your shadow self. I've seen your arm go back and forth on the wall.
Water.
I didn't even realize. That's funny.
I had to fill the water.
Yeah, that was fun.
Spilling the Alexa Pure. Okay.
Okay.
And he was saying hi out at the same time. So fun.
People thought he was giving us a puppet show in the background. Little added Booma Streama entertainment for y'all.
Did you hear him?
What did he say?
He said, I have to make those brownies later tonight because he went and got
hide some.
I told him.
So you made some brownies, but you want to make ones with chocolate chips in them now. Well, you can run over to Charlie's place and snag her freaking chocolate chips.
I found her stash.
Yes. Charlie's stash is everyone's stash now.
I hid a whole 2 brownies, and I went in there on Monday to get them, right? And his little shithead self went and ate my 2 brownies that I hid. After he ate so many brownies, I was like, you are not my friend anymore. I do not like you.
But you were in heaven the other day.
He's talking about you, Booma. Your video was priceless. It was priceless. It was so funny.
Which one?
The one you sent me where you're laying in
Oh, yeah, with the dog.
You're all, I'm in brownie heaven. After you got there.
Yes. The one that I sent you personally, that was fun. Sabrina, are you seeing this comment?
Yeah, go to the next one, would you?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to make a comment on this. Here's another thing. If she answers this, I'm not going to be bringing up a whole bunch of questions because we're not going to turn this into a Sabrina Wallace Q&A. That's the other thing. So if I let somebody else come up here on the Streama, then there's going to be another person that asks if they can come up on the Streama. So I just say no. So no one needs to take anything personally. I'm just telling you how I'm doing it. But for here right now, for this question right here, if Sabrina would like to answer it, I will say go ahead, but do not start asking a bunch of questions to Sabrina, please.
You want to see
I'm here with my friends. I just got to hang out with in Missouri.
I know, right?
Yeah, the Booma community where I used to be able to hide in the chat. Essentially, I believe that God actually lived as Jesus Christ the Nazarene in his Essen tribe. Thus, his vessel works the same way as he made the body perfectly. And that, talking about being grounded while simultaneously emitting or sending and receiving in that unconditional love type of state, authenticity for the win. Because if someone is coming at you weird, you're not going to be thinking unconditional love. You're going to be thinking self-defense, right? Hopefully. Anyways, right hand down, left hand up follows the natural magnetism of the blood flow of the body. So if I'm understanding your question properly, like, well, what would Jesus's emanation be? The same as ours. He had a biofield like we do because he had a body. in my opinion. And as far as emanation, sending and receiving, would be the same way the bees signal the flowers, because that's all it is. It's our breath, our bioelectricity, and our desire to connect at every molecular level. Just like in the forest, you have shrubs, foliage, etc. Everything co-creates in a forest, from the mycelial networks, the soil, the raindrops, the leaves. Well, humans are no different. Everything in our environment is communicating all the time. That's your same nervous system. So in my opinion, it would be the same. Crystal, how'd I do? Because I saw you looking at that one too. I was trying to think of the right way to simplify.
You did pretty. I think there's examples of that in the word. And obviously, I feel Jesus is God. And so he's carrying an extra exuberant amount of the Holy Spirit. And that has to be pure love and energy and holiness. So it's another way of emitting it. But I think you did a great job. I mean, it even talks about when the woman touched Jesus, he said, I felt virtue go out of me. So there was an exchange there, definitely. And God obviously made our bodies electrical, moving all the time, in motion.
Yep.
So
piezoelectric LED bones in the muscle.
Yep.
Oh, you're welcome. Blessings.
Yeah, it's not that I don't want, like, we can have a different venue for that. That happens sometimes. I don't want people, like I said, take anything personally. I'm just saying. Even when I went to the class and stuff like that, as much time as I thought I'd maybe get with Sabrina, I didn't get as much as I thought I'd get.
You got me half asleep, remember?
And then when we go to make a video, my freaking right eye was all freaking looking like bloodshot, like death. It was crazy. It was just ridiculous how that happened.
Okay, but that was chemicals in that town. Remember, we were talking about some of the stuff, like you could really tell with the air quality, specifically where the hotel was, and the difference when at the venue, different air quality, in my opinion.
Right, but every morning I went to classes, I would head to the class with an itchy eye, and I'd be like, just trying to dab it with my shirt, and I'd even be talking to some people while I was there. I was just like, it would be one or the other eye, and I'd be like fighting not to itch it and whatnot, and it would go down. But then I got really bad that next morning when we were hanging out for a little bit outside. And
the firewall too.
Yeah,
he didn't have the eye thing; he had the sinus stuff.
Right, the sinus stuff too. I was like blowing it all out. Felt like the pipes were clean, and the next thing you know, I had to blow it out again. It was like my body was just like, "Don't let this shit in, whatever it is." Yeah. It was kind of wild.
And Verona was clean. Like I felt like when we were there, I mean, the air felt clean, everything. It was very peaceful. It was nice.
Yeah, that was a really cool venue how that worked out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then there was a guy there that was a little bit more local, and he was talking about how he had made some cloud busters. And he had his whole block, even though some of his block, he said, didn't really believe like some of the stuff he was talking about, whether it was chemtrails or whatever. But he had all of them had them. And he was like kind of bummed in a way because it had been 3 days since they had seen any chemtrails or clouds. So when we went there, it was like he didn't have a chance. They never had a chance to use them. But we were talking about different kind of like ideas of solutions. Is it possible that you could get involved with your community, or at least at your own homestead, with some of these kind of things and protect yourself a little bit more? Completely, you're going up against like military grade, highest technology we don't even fully know about. But is there things that we could do? I would think so, or at least discuss it and see.
100%.
I think that gridding that Topher talked about makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense.
Yeah, his Substack on that today is really good.
It's really good. I went back and watched the video, Sabrina, that he did from like 3 months ago with his friend Kevin, and was listening to how he was talking about setting it up.
Yep.
Totally interesting.
Yep.
And it's just physics, but the way he's talking about physics and energy, it's just really interesting.
So Topher released that today?
Yeah, it's on his Substack. If you go there, you can follow the link there to the bit shoot he did 3 months ago with his friend that came up with the idea.
Pretty cool.
Is it Substack called Biocharisma, or is it?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to pull that up and subscribe.
Oh, biscuits.
Biscuit's still rocking and rolling.
He just very, very smart. Christopher Gardner with Biochar, Biocharisma. And hello, Veronica Rabbit. Nice to see you, lady.
Yeah, I think it's Black Gold Biochar is the name of it, .com.
That's his website?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's where he sells his biochar at. And he also sells some of the like fulvic and humic teas and stuff that you can use, because when you do this, you have to activate it. And they used the like Central American herbs and different things for their activation, but it has to be something partial to you. And it could be, I think, plasma energy water would work the same, wouldn't it, Sabrina? Something like that. I was trying to think, what would you do for the herb part of it? Because they said that they were using like medicinal herbs to make like a syrup that they put in the water, and they use that as part of it. And it's basically a layering of the center and then north, south, east, west with biochar in the holes. It has to be at least 90 centimeters deep, or about a meter. That's what they said. And then you put a layer of soil over the biochar. And Topher sells it, but he says if you know how to make biochar, you can make your own and use it. It works too. And then you put quartz crystals, and you also put crystal dust, like little pieces of quartz dust in it, in each hole. And then on top of that, you're going to put like a something that you've done. But first, before you do any of this, for 30 days, he said, pray over the land. Dedicate that land, that you're the steward to it, because your intention needs to be wrapped up in it too.
Magnetism, Lenz's law. You got it.
Yes. And then that other layer of the liquid, they used medicinal herbs, and they all took part in it. They all took turns pouring this, that they mixed in water, and it was structured water that they used with it. And they poured a little bit in each hole on top of the soil and the biochar and the crystals. And then they put another layer of soil, and something sacred that was sacred to them. That was the whole thing. The herbs were sacred to them. So it could be water you've prayed over, anointing oil, whatever is sacred to you. And then he said, on top of that, they burn a fire, and they started with the fire in the center. And then they did each of the north, south, east, and west. And it like sends out a frequency between the biochar and the crystals. The crystals and the little tiny pieces of crystal dust, they send it out into the soil around them. And as they do each point, from the center point to each of the exact directions, north, south, east, west, it like activates it like a bubble over the property, but it also sends it through the soil. So it actually changes the soil, and it will push like the nutrients of the biochar and everything, and the frequency that the biochar carries, which is very good for everything. It will push it into the other areas of the yard and make it all the same protective frequency. And then it basically opens up the sky in like a torsion field to where it goes straight up. So it's pushing their metamaterials and their electromagnetic static out of the way. Basically,
at the isotropic level. No, that's good. Crystal, you did great. Yeah, at the isotropic level, for those of you who are physics nerds. Yes.
It's pretty amazing. And the concept makes sense when and you're using all natural things from the earth. You're not using anything.
Yeah, in the Synergy channel, we call that cleaning off the front porch. Y'all who've been doing biofield practice, you've been learning about it for a long time. And that's where they're taking a soil and I think it's diamagnetic component, and they're putting the core in the ground with the perimeter, focused intention, meaning you're paying attention with your own toroidal fields, and they're getting great results. Yeah, because it's biophysics, man.
And in Costa Rica, they did a valley, his friend did, to where he did the center of the valley, and then there were 6 farms that were all kind of like sacred geometry, the way they were laid out. And he didn't realize that until after the people that decided to do it with him came and agreed. And then when he went back and looked geometrically, they all made sense. And when they all were done, it was like, it almost set like a atmospheric bubble over the entire valley to where it protected them. And he decided all this. This is what I found amazing. he had went back and done research in California, and I know Charlie will remember this too, when Fukushima leaked all the radiation on top of California and Washington. And everybody who went to LA had thyroid issues that year. You heard about thyroid issues from everybody. And a lot of people never put the two and two together, but it made complete sense to me. And then he started studying Central California up to Northern California, where all of the good farmland is, where it's really the breadbasket of our nation as far as fruits and vegetables go. And they were taking readings in the soil. And one farm was like 900 times the amount of radiation considered safe. And then a farm just like 50 miles north of that one was also 900 times, but there was a biodynamic farm centered directly between them, still just right on the other side of the coast and the cliffs. And it was safe. Everything was healthy. And so he knew that there had to be something they were doing in the way they were farming biodynamically to protect it energetically, to where it was not taking on the radiation in the soil. And I found that amazing. Absolutely amazing.
We got a Geiger counter after Fukushima, just out of curiosity. And I know a lot of people trying to take readings here and there. I'm not sure what kind of radiation was coming over, but what you're speaking to with the central coast of California being the salad bowl of the world, whatever fell out on that area, it seems to be an area that they have, it's the same area they targeted with the atrazine, Salinas Valley River, the gate frogs.
And the dam problems and the flooding and the pushing out, talking about the dams are going to break. They're going to lose the last of the farmland. There's always something going on.
Yep.
That was the turn the frogs gay?
Yeah.
Alex Jones?
Yeah. I just sent you do you see the picture I sent you, Booma?
Hey, y'all, I got to go. I just wanted to say thank you. And Charlie, keep burning it up out there, lady. Great topics tonight. Heather, good to see you. Don, nice to meet you. Thanks,
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Thanks for coming on, Sabrina.
Bye,
Thanks,
Sabrina.
Thanks, Brina.
You're welcome.
All right, Charlie, which one are you looking at?
It's the last one I sent.
The UC Berkeley one?
Yeah. It's just a image that might help the people in the chat understand the area that Crystal was just talking about. As far as the farming in California goes, and just how insidious the location is in relation to San Francisco Bay, where
yes,
everybody's gay. We all gay up here, and you'll see at the bottom of the image, it says Salinas River. That's where they found the gay frogs. The smaller circle is the Salinas Valley Farms, where the world's strawberries come from.
Beautiful farmland.
Yeah. Oh, this is my neighborhood. This is where I live. I'm on the coastal side of it, so I'm not getting the pesticides coming over my way, but they blow right over. And those kids out in Salinas and Hollister, they all have what's called the Salinas cough, asthma, all kinds of stuff from those damn pesticides, not to mention the enormous population it's 40% of San Francisco schools, children, 40% of the children in San Francisco schools identify as non-binary.
Makes you wonder what those chemicals are doing, for sure.
Yeah. And you can see that what's happening here is the arrows are pointing to where the runoff from the pesticides go. So over at the top of the map, they're draining into the East Bay, which is, like Oakland, Alameda, Berkeley, and then the North Bay, just above San Francisco. That's where Juxtaposition's hood is. He's up there. And I'm down here by the Salinas River with the gay frogs. So we should get together, have Juxtaposition come down and have lunch on the Salinas River with me.
Do you have pet gay frogs?
I don't ask. Don't ask, don't tell.
Okay.
So what happens when you lick a gay frog?
Yeah, do you turn into gay? Uh-oh. Let's check it out real
Is
quick.
that what's going on in California? Everybody's licking frogs, you guys.
Right.
Stop.
Yeah, something.
Charlie,
probably.
you're right next to your character. So between the image and Charlie, there's in the background.
That's your hippie son.
That's Charlie, right?
Yeah.
Right there in between the pesticides, astrazine can turn male frogs into females is the character of Charlie next to Charlie Lighthouse.
Right?
And she's all stoked about telling people about how they're turning the frogs gay. Oh dear.
I mean, it's sad.
I gotta try to have some fun with some of this shit because this is crazy stuff.
It
I know, right?
And the arrow's going right to Silicon Valley.
Yes.
Man, you got some crazy shares, Charlie.
But if they know, they know that this is bad, why? But I don't know. The people that work in Silicon Valley, do they live in Silicon Valley?
Yes. So they like to live up in the skyline, the Santa Cruz Mountains, in the areas that are largely forested by redwoods and stuff, but still just a short commute away from Silicon Valley. There's, I mean, at least the higher ups in those companies, they're all up in the hills. Beautiful compounds, farmland, sheep. I mean, we drive through it all the time.
Compounds?
It's beautiful.
You said compounds? They live in compounds.
Yeah, big gated estates, but most of the workforce just are very contentedly living in their, in their really nice manicured 15-minute C40 type city setups. They love it. Everything's convenient. Everything's digital. It's really well kept. Everything's lovely. California is so strange. It's so diverse. There's a lot of investment in Silicon Valley, clearly. Simultaneously, while they turn San Fran shithole into just same thing that happened up in Seattle and Oregon, right? Just a mess. And then Los Angeles, they're burning people out of the Palisades.
Yep.
And Altadena and everywhere else. So they're clearly making moves in
to push everyone into the
15 minutes
one area.
To push them in. Herding.
Right.
Herding the chattel.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Herding the chattel.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And again, while you guys talk about really important topics, I just want to point out that Charlie is now the top of my AI lower half, where my crotch is right below. And he is now the head of a male AI crotch.
It's really good.
Oh no, Crystal, look at you. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Oh, Don, look at you. There you are, baby. Oh no, Heather's right next to her likeness.
Heather's like, don't even try it.
I don't want that bottom.
We gotta keep Charlie there. That's where it landed. That's where it landed organically. That's just what happened. Look at my body. Ooh, I'm looking sexy, baby. Charlie is me. I'm Charlie, and Charlie is me.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So you are transgender, after all.
Oh my gosh. Everybody's transgender in here.
You're half and half.
We all lick the gay frogs.
Who knew just talking about licking gay frogs that it would happen?
I know, right? Okay, how do we fix this
It's
shit?
a placebo.
I don't think we can. Sabrina threw off the balance, and now it's just Crotchville, and it is what it is. And Heather, you are the head.
Stick my hand down my pants.
Exactly. It's like I'm married with children. What's his name? Oh my God. We got to have a little bit of fun, people. Laughter is medicine with this crazy freaking world. I didn't mean to derail it completely, but I just had to because now it's just, I can't stop. I don't.
Well, it's getting a little serious.
It's getting too serious.
It's getting too serious.
It's getting too serious, even though we were talking about gay frogs.
That's serious business.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. And just because.
The thing. Oh, you're just having too much fun now.
I'm having too much fun. Dawn, what do you think?
I think this is just fantastic. Best way that I can spend a Saturday night, and just sharing space with everybody, and just, being seen and heard, and seeing you guys. I mean, I'm a little shy and everything, but it's really feeling something in me. So I appreciate everybody. It is a crazy time being here, but we're going to pull through it, whatever, God's will.
Yeah, she'll get on the phone right now. Sean got some.
All right, I got Crystal muted. She had looks like she has a little something to take care of. But yes, Dawn, it's been awesome having you here, and for finding the courage to finally join. You've been in this community for a while, so it's awesome having you here.
Well, just know I've been shaking all night. I was getting anxiety, and it's like, fuck it, Dawn. Who cares?
Right. That's what you got to keep telling yourself.
I know, and it's like, just but yeah, I've enjoyed being here with you guys, and just, I don't know, the community, the fellowship, and I think that's most important to, just remember how to love one another and be kind, and just, we're not alone. We're not alone. We're all in this together, and I don't mean to, that's just how we all are here together. So, but I love all you guys, and yeah, I've been around for a bit, and thanks for, yeah, it's not as scary as people think, but it's, I hope more people will come on and just give it a shot. That's all you got to do. Just try.
Yeah.
And I look forward to seeing you guys. But my phone, I don't know, I think I might have messed my battery up, but I'm getting down to like 10%. So I think I'm going to need to leave as well. But
yeah, we'll start wrapping her up.
I hope we can all interject again and have a Booma party.
Exactly. The party bus.
Yeah.
Oh, let's bring
That's right.
All good, Crystal? You are muted.
I'm glad that you came on. That's awesome to
go.
see some new faces.
I can't hear anybody.
Okay, Dawn.
Oh, no. All right. Bye. Yeah. See you in Telegram. Even though she can't hear me.
Right. And again, we're not here to promote Telegram. It just so happens to be that's where we kind of landed for our communities and stuff, both Synergy community and the Booma community, if you will, or on Telegram. And it just works out that way. So I'm still trying to figure out how to best, I guess, set some of these up, because there are some people that aren't going to be on Telegram, and I want to be able to allow you guys to come on Booma Streams, but I want it to be more planned on who's going to join or have a list, and so do it that way. So we'll figure it out as we go, but it was great having all you ladies on, and it was cool. Crystal, you jumped on later, making some brownies, and then finally jumped on, and then Sabrina surprised us, so it was freaking awesome. And then Dawn was her first time.
Yep, it was amazing.
We keep it pretty chill though, right? This isn't some high end, I don't know. It's you get some of these people doing social media that are supposedly alternative media, but they run it like a mainstream kind of thing, where everybody's got a time slot, where everybody's got a certain amount of time that they're allowed to talk, and it's maybe unsaid to the public, but in their minds, you only have you have 2 minutes to make your point, and then you got to give it over to the other person. You never they never say these things, but in their minds, that's just kind of how it operates. Not here, man. We're just chilling, hanging out, having a good time. I've had some people going on, I was like, what is this all about? This is just about real people having real talk about whatever comes to our mind and whatever we want to talk about. That's it. That's all it needs to be. Yes, and
They always end up being really good though, where we just have these excellent conversations and we learn from each other, and it just always ends up being that way. And we never have it. And anyone that I've been on, we've never had a topic. We've even talked about it. You want to do a topic? I don't know. Let's just kind of see how it goes. We're just having conversation.
right.
And it just ends up naturally flowing into these really, sometimes very profound conversations.
Yeah, it's some good stuff. And sometimes the organic stuff is like the best because you didn't
Right.
pre-think about it. It just came with whatever the conversation is. It's just like when you're hanging
But you
out
get
with
the
friends,
most,
you know
you
what I
just
mean?
get the most honest, authentic answers and questions and it just everything.
Right.
It's really nice.
Yep, I've enjoyed them, but it was tough doing it the way that I was doing it because then a certain character would come in, and sometimes it was weird. It was like people were holding up like dolls and stuff in front of their faces, and I'm like, "You gone?" Or some of them come in, and I'm looking at them, and they're kind of like it's like a shady thing. It's getting tough, guys. So like,
Or
it is,
worse.
but this is kind of working a lot better. But like having you ladies on tonight, this was awesome. Yes, and somebody just says Brina's here. Yes, she was. You're gonna have to go back and watch. And it was not her. She popped up in the chat. And I was like, went over to Telegram. I was like, hey girl, you want to come on? And I didn't think she would. And she was like, let's talk gate programs. We talked a little bit about the gate program that Charlie was bringing up, and Crystal was talking about before she jumped on, and then we got into all kinds of areas. But we will start closing it out here. I don't know, Heather. How would you like to? Would you have anything else to say before we close out this Booma Streama number 37?
Not anything in particular, just thanking everybody for being here and being a part of the community and actually being part of the conversation, whether you're in the chat or up here on the screen. I know that a lot of people get nervous. I've talked to a lot of people where they're like, oh, I'm gonna do it. Oh, I don't know. I still get really nervous. Okay, I've been on I don't know how many, and I still get nervous sometimes. But then once I'm on here and I'm with my friends, it's like we're just having dinner, just talking or just hanging out. So it's really nice. So I hope that more people find the courage to do it and reach out. And Telegram is a great place, even though I don't want to promote anything like that, but it is a great place to reach out to others that are all over the world.
Yeah, people live in different time
We
zones.
have a lot of fun.
So some people have a hard time sleeping or whatnot, and I'm not saying it's completely active at all times, but there are people in other parts of the world that are awake when we're trying to sleep over here, like in America, for example. So you might be able to connect with somebody and not feel so lonely or those kinds of things. So, and then if you just have, like heartfelt things going on in your life that you need prayer for and community for, that's where it's really helped. And it's made it easier. So like, if you don't want to show yourself like on the screen, I totally get it. When I first started, I was still kind of an anon. That's where the D-Booma song came from, D-Hippie song for this 70s vibe. But you don't have to show yourself. You can have a little picture up. You can use an alias. You can do whatever you want. But if you're a part of the community, that's how we know who you are, in the sense that we can trust you. I've had some people come on and it's like, are they trying to use this platform to get attention? Or are they just like spreading BS onto my platform? Like those kinds of things are the things I'm trying to cut down on. So having like authentic conversations with people that we've already gotten a little bit to know is really refreshing. Crystal.
Yes.
In closing, what would you like to impart on the people?
Know yourself and know your God. That's where I'm at. The times that we're living in, you better know. And do everything you can to not be afraid. Everybody seems afraid of everything, and we are no longer in a time that we can operate in fear. Be aware, have your situational surroundings on, pay attention to your situational surroundings, and don't be afraid to learn, and don't be afraid. That's number one to me, because we were talking about that yesterday in the chat, and bottom line, we, even as believers in Christ, we are called not to be cowards and not to be afraid. So it's very important to walk and trust yourself and trust God. Learn, do what you can. Don't sweat the things you have no control over, because there's going to be a lot of that. And we're probably going to see a lot of grievous stuff, you guys. So prepare your heart and do the best you can. That's where I'm at.
Thank you, Crystal. That was great. Now, Charlie.
I just sent you a picture as my closing statement. This is how I keep my light heart. It's my altar of holy relics.
This is great. Your holy relics.
I got my juxtaposition mug in the front.
Yeah, front and center. Where did you get that mouse photo or painting?
That's hilarious.
It's the guinea pope.
It's the guinea pope. Okay, well, good correction.
His infallible poop. And yeah, I don't remember where I got that. I
bet he'll never get the hantavirus. Help it.
Oh man, this is great.
Awesome.
Where did you get that feather? RG's asking, and it's very nice.
My dad made that feather. I got the canopic jar, the DNA jar at I got it at Goodwill. But somebody made it and it says recombinant DNA. They spelled recombinant wrong.
What
they spelled recombinant wrong, but I got it anyways because it was sitting at
that says a lot all by itself, doesn't it?
Right. And then of course I have my ephod bear that I made.
I love that.
That's great.
Yeah. So, just keeping a light heart and
I love it. Before we did this, and when you agreed that you'd be able to come on, you said I'll bring the weird, and I was like, yes! I was so stoked. I love it. But you also bring lots of great talk and information, and I love it.
You, dude. You do it. You create this community that gives us a space.
It's been a great space. It's gonna continue to. I love this community, and then now I've been able to actually physically meet some of you. Like Crystal, that was such a good time going out to dinner after that first night. That was so fun, and then just hanging out at the classes and stuff. More of you guys.
You showed the picture, didn't you, Booma, of all of us when we went to dinner, all doing right hand down, left hand up.
I haven't shown it, but there's just some people that I wasn't sure if they wanted it shown. Like
it was so cute. The waitress was like 6 months pregnant, and she's trying to hold the camera and turn sideways so she could get the whole long table of us. Right. It was priceless. It was awesome.
So some of us went out like after the first night of the Sabrina class, and we just had dinner, and Sabrina had taught us the right hand down, left hand up, thumbs to the left, if you will, however you want to say it. But the biofield concurrence. And so all around the table, we were all doing that with each other, all around this, a long table. We had this pregnant waitress taking all these pictures or whatnot. And it was funny because I didn't realize she took a bunch of pictures. I just tuned into the last one that she took. And I didn't realize everybody wasn't closing their eyes and getting into the mode. Everybody's smiling at the camera, and I'm sitting there facing out with my eyes closed or whatever. And I'm looking at myself. But she caught me when I was looking up at her, and I looked all weird. So I was like, "You gotta take more pictures or whatnot." But it was cool because the whole place is what is with these people? And we just loved it. So it was a great time. But now now more of us are getting to meet in person. There's going to be more experiences when the Ohio classes happen, and there'll be more conversations to have. But I've enjoyed this. Everybody that's been on, and Heather, Crystal, and Charlie, it's been an honor.
And sorry I had to jump out for a minute, Booma. My daughter called because my grandson apparently has developed an allergy to shrimp. I don't know where they got the shrimp, but he just had a really bad allergic reaction. So she was calling me. So I'm like, what? What do you mean you have an emergency?
Poor baby.
Well, prayers that gets handled and handled quickly. So
lots of Benadryl. He's not going nowhere. He ain't going
right. Stuck down that Benadryl. It'll help.
He ain't going to no hospital for it. As long as he can breathe, he's staying home and handling it. Period.
Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you, everybody that tuned in and everybody that's going to watch the replay. This was Booma Streama number 37, brah, on May 23rd, 2026. God bless you all. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.